London's LBC 97.3. 0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
Moses. They called their baby Moses. Well, I guess it's better than Apple. What is wrong with famous people that they call their children the stupidest names in the world? I think Bob Geldof is the absolute worst offender in that respect. Somebody should take that man out and thrash him. Fifi, Trixabel, and Pixie, or whatever he called his other one. Oh. Apple. Can you imagine going through your life being called Apple? Painful. Is he still wearing that silly jumpsuit? Hey. Good evening, this is LBC 97.3. My name's Nick Abbott, in for Clive Bull, and all of his audience are holding their heads in their hands and wailing, no, they say. I know everybody gets attached to their own talk show host. Oh, here we go again. And I am like an uninvited guest in your home, so please treat me as with the disrespect that I deserve, and just call with exactly what you would call Clive with, because it's more your show than it is my show, and I'm only going to be here for 2 days, so stop freaking out. This is the Clive Bull Show. I am Nick Abbott, in for today and tomorrow. And I suppose the most sensible thing to do would be to go and get into it straight away. Adam.
Hi, Nick.
How are you?
I'm not so bad. How's things going?
Well, as you know, so far, still here.
I just thought I'd call up to apologise to you, actually, firstly, before I get into what I talk about.
Go on.
Last time you were on here, you gave me a bit of a ticking off.
A ticking off?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound
going
like
over old ground with you.
Go on.
I was going on about stuff that I used to talk to you about at another station, and anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Music. What do you think of the state of music now? I don't think we're passionate anymore as a nation about it.
How old are you?
21.
That is a terrible state to have got into at your young age.
I'm talking for a nation. I'm not just talking about me. I think I am. I'm very passionate about music. I just wondered if this is something you've noticed.
I read a little while ago, somebody said, I've never really thought about it before, but, it used to be that you save up all week and you go out and buy, the Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd or whatever it was that just come out, and you read about it, salivating with the NME and Melody Maker and Sounds. But these days, people don't seem to do that anymore. They download it for free, and if they don't download it for free, then they're swapping it on their mobile phones, and it just... You see, I'm not young anymore. I'm not young anymore.
No, but
so
it seems...
Hang on a minute. So I'm still listening to the music that I used to, and occasionally stuff that comes out now. But and the price of a CD doesn't mean as much to me now as the price of an album used to be when I was a teenager. You know, you'd save up your lunch money. I'd not eat for a week just so I can go buy punk records.
It seems we're more a nation now that we just go all gooey-eyed over people like Shane Ward, and we don't really care about the music.
Yeah, but that's two different things. That one is celebrity and one's music. Now, if we just talk about music, then the theory was that because people aren't paying so much, and because people aren't sitting down and listening to albums, and it's all about just individual tracks, because it used to be that albums were finely crafted because that was the only way that you could get anything other than a single. These days, you can buy any individual track from an album. You don't have to buy the whole thing anymore. And so, because it doesn't, it's not as a rigid thing to buy an experience, then it becomes more throwaway. And so once something becomes more throwaway, then people care less about it.
It's a bit concerning, though, that as a nation, I mean, I love, dance music, and,
Well, there's nothing more throwaway than dance music.
Yeah, but even that's becoming a rare breed, not like it was 4 or 5 years ago. You know, there used to be loads of young people that would go mental for the stuff. There was at one point. I mean, it's like
they
pirates all over the place.
would go mental for the stuff. Is that what you just said?
Sorry?
I don't know. I don't think you're right at all. I mean, the music industry is moaning and whining about everybody who's downloading stuff for free, and they say that we've just lost £400 million because kids are busy downloading it on their pewters. But they failed to say that they've just made record profits, and the profits are going up, and sales of CDs are going up.
Well, I reckon they'll probably soon become extinct anyway, like you said.
What will?
CDs. Well, because everyone's getting it all off the internet and, listening to it on the computers and,
I suppose people like me who used to buy vinyl liked the product itself because it was a very tactile thing to have, and the artwork was very big, and gatefold sleeves were a significant thing to own, and you'd pull out the inner sleeve and you'd be reading the lyrics, and you don't get any of that with a CD. Like, for instance, one of the... Oh no, this happened last time. As soon as I started speaking last time I was on, my voice started to go.
You ended up whispering all night, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. But these days, say for instance, one of the best albums ever made was Physical Graffiti by Led Zeppelin. Now, when that came out on vinyl, it was a magical thing. I still own it, and you could spend hour upon endless hour playing with it and looking at it and getting the little windows inside to fit. And if you didn't own it on vinyl, you got no idea what I'm talking about. But it was a work of art.
You're probably the wrong person to ask about this. But
wait, you won't let me finish a single thought. Did I tell you that last time as well?
Yes, you did.
Okay, well, so just bite your tongue for 1 second. These days, if you buy it on CD, you don't get any of that because a CD package, what is it, like 3.5-inch square or something like that, the little thing that goes inside. And that's, I mean, if you bought a piece of art, a work of art from a gallery or a poster from Boots, wherever you buy posters from these days, the clown with the tear in its eye, where would you buy that these days? Woolworths? I've got no idea.
No.
But it would be bigger than 3.5-inch square, wouldn't it? Because otherwise that's a miniature. So basically what we've got is artwork in miniature. And it's not a very satisfying thing. It's slightly too big to hang on a locket around your neck, not big enough to peer at.
You don't own CDs then, really?
Thousands of them. But they're not a satisfying thing to hold because they're plasticky, it's not warm and friendly, and like I said, the artwork inside, it's just, you kind of ignore it because it's too small to look at. And so that is a step down from vinyl, which used to be 12 inches square. And let's face it, if you had the choice between 3.5 inches and 12 inches, which would you choose, Adam?
Probably 3.5 inches, because it's small and, it's neat. I mean, but one thing, that you're in the radio business, and this is a difficult question for you to answer, but I'm going to
ask you that question again before we go, but carry on.
Okay. They're releasing a lot of old albums, with remixing old albums and stuff now, aren't they? Do you think that's a bit worrying or not? That
What do you do for a living?
I'm actually a DJ.
You're a DJ?
I told you this last time, but...
Well, I don't remember. I talked to thousands of people, none of whom I remember any information about at all. I don't remember what I did last weekend, let alone what our conversation was 2 weeks ago, or
I'm a
month
DJ,
ago, or whenever it was.
I'm actually working at a community radio station, doing some training.
What, you're training people, or you're training to be a DJ?
No, I'm actually training to be a DJ on a radio station. You're amazed, aren't you?
Are you paying money for somebody to train you?
Well,
that sounds like a yes.
Sorry?
That sounds like you're going to say yes.
Well, yeah, he gets paid for it, but I don't know who pays him.
Who?
Sorry?
Who gets paid for it?
Well, it was a bloke who, they call him a training officer, actually. They call him a training officer. And,
well, that makes him sound like somebody who's being paid by the government.
It does, doesn't it?
But it's not, though, is it? Did you just snap your fingers in an Ali G way?
Probably.
No. You don't speak in Jamaican patois as well when you're not on the phone to me, do you? Because there was something about that in the Standard today. I'll come back to that later. The way the kids talk today is a disgrace.
Nah, just typical Yorkshire me.
Right.
But before you do go...
Yeah.
Just a quick blast from the past. This is probably an awful thing to throw on your audience at such an early stage, but what about a lightning round tomorrow night?
Right, I'll think about it for about 10 seconds.
Oh,
thanks a lot, mate.
Cheers.
Ta-ta. Way too young to be worried about the state of music. There's a fantastic amount of great music all over the place. There's no end of great music. All you have to do is go and seek it out. And as a DJ, then you should have your finger right on the pulse. I mean, to moan about that there's no great music is just a silly thing to do. I mean, I'm about 1,000 years old, and I could, off the top of my head, list you 100 different bands that, okay, off the top of my head, I could list like 5 different bands, all of which are worth your money. Travel with Joanne Webb, you can go early if you want, or late. What does that mean? So we can go now?
I'm just giving you the option. You can go early, or you can go late, or you can go bang on time.
Are you speaking to me? Because it sounds like you've got your head in a bucket in a different building.
Well, I probably have, actually. Is it on this one?
It sounds like that one,
Alex
yeah.
has given me 2 mics to speak into, so...
Right. And you're in charge of this show.
Apparently so. I've just made you a cup of tea.
You did. Let's test that, shall we? Hey, not bad.
Is it all right? Sugar?
It's in there, thank you, sweetness.
Yeah. Well, I'm just making sure, because I think I can remember you said sugar.
Right. Well, so far, this is going tremendously well, don't you think?
I think it's going fantastic.
Tea's great. I've got my, because there's one thing that everybody said when I was here last time, is bring food. Do they say that to every newbie in the building? Why? I've never experienced that before in my life. Everybody was, like, huddling around me as though I should bring in my own,
Well, because if you get hungry halfway through, there's very little in the way of food in the building.
Yeah, but that's the same with every radio station. All you've got is a kettle, and that's it.
I've got a banana if you want.
But nowhere else have I ever come across such a concentration of people who insisted that I bring food in, as though it's sort of like famine.
Was producing you last time?
It's like famine relief in here.
Was it all the girls looking after you last time?
But yeah.
Yeah, well there you are then.
But anyway, I've got.
I didn't say that to you, did I?
I've got what the England football team eat.
Ah.
If it's good enough for them, I think Wayne Rooney's eating a bit too much. Did you see the match the other day when Wayne Rooney just scored a goal?
Yes.
And he prostrated himself on the grass, and that was one of the most unpleasant scenes I've ever seen in my life. How fat is Wayne Rooney, by the way?
Yes, quite fat.
It looked like, I don't know, his legs looked like something you'd see on a butcher's slab. It was horrible.
He is the future of England football.
I know. Our hopes are resting on his implausibly large shoulders. Can you even wait? What is it like? So the Sun are counting down the days. Was it 62 days now?
Oh, it'll be fantastic.
I'm entering every competition I can see in order to win tickets to go and see those matches.
Yes, so am I.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, how about we make a deal then? If I win, then I'll invite you, and if you win, then you'll invite me.
Well, shall we see how the next couple of days go, and then we'll decide.
You are a wise man. This is LBC 97.3. I'm Nick Abbott in for Clyde, and it's Travel Now with Joanne Webb.
London's LBC 97.3.
0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
I actually admit to being quite nervous. I'm a bit shaky, actually. I feel like I've walked into a party and I don't know anybody here. You know, you dive straight for the drinks bar and just try and get a little bit hammered so that you feel like you fit in.
Why are you nervous?
I don't know. I wasn't nervous last time. I just sort of sat down and got on with it. This is a bit like, ooh, maybe it's because it's light outside.
You'll be fine. This is much better than how it normally is.
It's all right. I'm not going to. You're still talking on the wrong.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
There we are. Hello.
No, it's all right. Don't frown. Relax. Everything's going to be all right.
Like to make sure you're okay.
No, I'm
just
fine.
Just reassuring you that this is better than it normally is.
Don't say that.
It is. It's true.
People
Have you listened to the beginning of Clive's show?
Oh, come on. People are going to be. People will hear that, and in their minds they'll think that Nick Abbott. He just said. Did you hear what Nick Abbott just said?
Well, no. They'll probably be thinking that nasty Bob who produces Clive and has worked with him for 7 years is now stabbing him in the back.
Right. Where is he, by the way?
I'm not sure. I think he might be down in Bognor Regis somewhere, but I don't know.
What? Do you speak?
Yes, we do.
You didn't ask him where he was going?
Well, he doesn't normally say. He's normally just, I'm going away for a few days.
Well, where does he normally go?
Well, all over the place. He's been to the Olympics before, even though he says he hates the Olympics.
Really? What did he see?
We saw him at lots of events. We did!
We saw him at lots of events?
Well, we saw him in the crowd.
No way.
We did.
Really?
Yeah.
At what?
Beach volleyball.
Rubbish.
We did! Definitely. If you listen back 2 years ago, you will hear us seeing him. Ian Lee was doing the show, and we saw Clive doing beach volleyball. Well, sitting in the crowd.
You're making this up.
I'm not making this up.
Which Olympics was that then?
It was the Athens Olympics of 2004.
Can you believe they held the Olympics in Athens, where you can cut the air with a knife? Have you ever been to Athens? It's about
no,
the filthiest place on the face of the earth that I've been to, anyway, which would include Europe and America.
Why? What was so bad about it?
Oh, it's just, you can barely breathe. It's like Los Angeles. It was the air is like soup.
Will they be saying that about London in 7 years' time?
I'm sure there'll be many other different various complaints that they'll have about London. And I don't know. I feel as though I'm not joining in with London's pleasure at gaining the Olympics, but maybe it's just my my natural pessimism. But I just don't think it's a good idea for us to do it. Everyone's leaping up and down. Oh, hallelujah, we've got the Olympics. And I'm thinking, oh, no, we've got the Olympics. To think of what a mess we made of the Dome. It was budgeted at what? It was, off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly, but something like, what would you pay for a temporary tent? 250 million? That seems a fantastic amount, doesn't it? 4 times that. £1 billion for a tent that was only going to last 10 years. Incredible.
You won't be going to the judo then?
What?
You won't be going to the judo at the Olympics then?
I won't be going to any of it because all the tickets, first of all, most of the tickets will be sold to corporate people, so people like us won't get within a sniff of them. And second, the ones that are left will be so fantastically expensive that mere mortals like you and I mean, Roman Abramovich could take his pick, but us, we couldn't possibly afford it. So we're all going to watch the Olympics on TV, just like we would have done had they been on the other side of the planet. The only benefit is that it'll all be happening at our time. If the French had won it, the experience would have been exactly the same, except we wouldn't be paying for it for the next 10 years, or the rest of our lives. And those things that they're going to build out in the East End of London will be exactly the same as every other Olympics since every other modern Olympics. They'll be padlocked and empty forever. Even the Barcelona Olympics, which they hold up as a great financial success and social success, because they put the regeneration of Barcelona around the Olympic Games itself, and Barcelona, which still smells in summer, by the way. It's really quite unpleasant, but it's a fantastic city, and it improved itself for the Olympics. However, the Olympic venues, they're totally empty and completely unused, as is the Olympic Village. I mean, it looks nice, but no one ever goes there. Neither will anyone. I mean, how often do you need a velodrome? I mean, I know I'm being pessimistic, but you don't want one, do you? Neither do you need one. I mean, what's it going to be used for?
Well, it's safer to cycle in the velodrome than it is round the street.
That's true. Yeah. I wonder if they'll have those green, those green cycle lanes in the velodrome.
Oh yeah, they should.
I've got one near me that's 6 foot long. It's not connected to anything. It's just part of a pavement. It's 6 foot long. Someone has taken the time and the effort and the energy and our money to dig up the pavement, plaster that green sticky stuff over it, paint a bicycle on it. It's 6 foot long. It's just long enough to put a bicycle on.
Is it for sort of learner cyclists?
I've got no idea. It doesn't make any sense. It's absolutely crazy. And you have to think, why? There's got to be a good reason why they do it. And I've come up with a theory. And it is that councils, at around about the 5th of April, I'm assuming, that's their a cut-off point for their budgets. And so if they haven't spent all of their money by the 5th of April, the government will say, right, well, you obviously don't need that amount of money again next year because you haven't spent it. And so they go into a spending frenzy. And so around about April, you'll see gangs of people leaning on shovels and sending each other for cups of tea or coffee or whatever it is that workmen like these days, and just doing nothing, just eating up money. And they'll refurnish their offices with £1,000 chairs, because those $49.99 blue ones that you see in the newspapers and the magazines aren't good enough for council workers' bottoms. They need to be more luxuriously furnished than that. And so that's what it is. I'm sure that's what all the bicycle lanes and all of these ridiculous things that people you see people spending money on. I'm sure it's that they just have come to the end of their financial year. They've got a couple of $100,000 left in the budget, and they know that if they don't spend it, they won't get it again next year. Here's one in the buzzard. What does that mean? What's the buzzard?
It's Leighton Buzzard.
Oh, Leighton Buzzard. Hello, Martin.
Oh, hello.
How are you?
I'm not bad. Oh, Christ, Bill never says that. I'm so privileged.
He never says, how are you?
No.
Well, what does he normally say?
What do you want?
Hey, Martin.
What?
What do you want?
Here. Do you know what? You're talking about the Olympics, right? And, they've named a train. Well, they're going to name a train Kelly Holmes. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Oh.
Well, only briefly in passing, just moments before you said it. Go on, tell me more.
Well, I just thought it might get your enthusiasm if they named a train after you.
Yeah, that seems really likely.
Yeah, you can get on at St Pancras Station and get on the Clive Bull, get on the Bob, you know.
I'm not sure I'd like...
Or get on the Nick.
Did they actually talk to Kelly Holmes about this? I mean...
It's not a good name for a train, is it? You know, it's like, you think of trains and they've got powerful names like the Flying Scotsman, the Mallard,
yeah.
the Kelly Holmes.
The Kelly Holmes.
Doesn't do it, does it?
Better than having a tunnel named after you, I suppose. A hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it's fast. Maybe that's the connection that they made.
Yeah, I know, but it still doesn't sound right, does it?
No, and if I were a dame...
Well, I've heard.
I'm not sure I'd want a train to have my name stuck on the outside of it. It just... there's nothing appealing about that.
Maybe Sir Nick Abbott.
Because people are forever complaining about trains.
Yeah.
And if they work right, and they're clean, and they arrive on time, nobody will say a word about it. The only thing that people will start mentioning is when they don't. And so her name will forever be associated with things that don't work, don't arrive on time, and are filthy dirty. And full to the brim with chavs.
I think you're talking about the Paula Radcliffe train, aren't you? Oh, that's been cancelled. Can I thank you? Hello?
Can you thank me?
Yeah, can I thank you?
Well, it depends what for.
Well, several years ago when you were on that other radio station,
yeah.
You see, I tuned in and used to play these very strange clips of, I couldn't work out what it was for a week. You used to have like a... You know, for a week, I didn't know what the hell it was, you see. And then a week later, I realised that you were playing clips from South Park. Now, the person you were playing clips of was Eric Cartman, you see. And lo and behold, you introduced me to Eric Cartman. He's now my idol.
Lo and behold?
Yes. You've done it. You know what? You even made me go out and watch South Park. And you know what I did? I went out and bought www.ericcartman.com.
I seriously doubt that. But the funniest film ever made, Team America World Police.
London's LBC 97.3.
Nick Abbott. 0870 90 90 973.
Hey, Mandy.
Hi.
That was a very breathy hi.
What?
That was a very breathy hi.
I just hope you remember me. But I've been listening to you and you don't remember anything.
I remember precious little, but I do remember you.
Do you?
Everything you say sounds dirty. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
You greased... Wait, you greased the wheels on this show when I first started here.
Yes.
Bless you, Mandy.
Yes, I do.
I'll fly you sometime.
Thank you. We're 10cc. I was the one that used to live in Northampton, but thank God I escaped on the 3rd of March.
Hey, where did you go?
I'm now living in London Colney.
Where?
London Colney? Or as my friends call it, London Colony.
I've never heard of it. London Colney?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's before St Albans. Have you heard of that?
I ain't stupid.
Well, it's about 20 minutes before St Albans, but nearer to London. I'm like 10 minutes from where I used to live in Hendon. But this is boring. I don't want to talk about this. I'm very happy now. I'm not living in Northampton.
You used to be a...
Yes, and I got the sack. Do you remember that?
You used to...
Yes, I still am, but for another company. A chat line operator.
You're a chat line operator.
Yes. But now for another company, and I don't just do the chat lines and your first words tonight. I now do voiceovers for them and read erotic stories.
Erotic stories?
Yes.
Right.
I put them down the phone and people ring up and listen to them.
Okay, well, I'm sitting comfortably.
No, I can't. You'll get sacked. You like it there, don't you?
So somebody calls up and says, I'd like a story.
Well, I don't read them to them. They press buttons, you know. I do the bit that also says, if you want to... I do the little intros that say... I won't say... Well, they're not about me, but... Mandy's about to get dressed.
Okay.
She's waiting for you.
That's enough.
Right, and she knows you're watching her.
So do you make this stuff up?
To the rest of this story. No, they email me scripts.
Who do? Oh, the company that you work for, right. They email you scripts.
Yeah.
And so forever you're asking them, if you want to hear the rest of this story, press 1.
Yeah. If you want to skip, press 2. If you want to go back to the main menu, press 9.
You want to speak to one of our representatives?
No, I don't say that. Too long. They won't understand long words like that.
So
Yeah?
How long do you perform this social function?
Which bit?
Well, all of it. I mean, how many hours of your day?
This morning I was online.
In the morning?
This morning when I woke up, I was online from 9 till 12, taking calls.
So people are calling you up and wanting...
Yes.
In the morning?
You know how men wake up in the morning. Come on. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I mean, I want a coffee and...
you want a coffee and a chat.
And, a bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
And I want to watch the news.
Yeah.
I don't want to call up Mandy and have her read,
Well, I don't do it to them in person. They just press buttons to do it.
Oh, you're pre-recorded?
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't read a lot of the stories because I can't keep a straight face. I do the intros and things like that. I just can't read them. Some of them are just too rude and gross.
Even for you. Huh.
Don't say it like that.
Too rude and gross.
Yeah, they're horrible. I do little intros and things like that. But this morning I worked from 9 till 12 taking calls.
I can't believe that anybody would wake up first thing in the morning and think, oh, what do I feel like now? Oh, yeah, I know.
I can't believe
phone
you've
sex.
done that. Are you a red-blooded male?
Yeah, but you take time to wake up in the morning, surely. I mean, the first thing you want to do is just get your head together, not get straight on the phone at 60p a minute or wherever it is.
With respect, they might have woken up at 7 and decided to phone at 9.
Or they could have been at work overnights. That's right.
I get a lot of people come in doing night work, and then before they go to sleep, they want to have a chat.
So how much...
This is much better paid, this company, than the last one.
How much is a chat, Mandy?
I don't know. I don't phone in. It depends where they see the advert. Sometimes it's 50p a minute, sometimes it's £1 a minute, sometimes...
Okay, now what's the difference? Where would an advert appear that's 50p, and where would an advert appear that's £1?
I don't know. Or the ones that in the Times and the Guardian are the most expensive, I think.
Hang on.
Yeah.
You advertise...
Well, not me, the company.
In the Guardian and the Times?
Yeah. And the Observer and the Independent.
You don't?
Oh, yeah, they did. Not me, they.
Right.
Yeah. And the Exchange of March.
So what do you take in exchange for a chat then, Mandy?
I get money.
Right. Cold hard cash.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It is.
I can't believe that they advertise in the Guardian. Oh, come on.
I promise you.
Do they advertise on Wednesday in the social services section?
I don't know. I don't read the Times. I thought Wednesday was jobs for girls, creme de la creme.
No, in The Guardian, it's these. Isn't that when they...
No, that's The Guardian's Mondays, isn't it, for jobs? Media. Yeah.
Was that what you call yourself?
No, not me. When I'm looking for a proper job, which I am, of course.
What do you want to do then, Mandy?
I can't do this for the rest of my life.
Sure you can.
I can't. It's mine. Well, it's been all right lately because the cricket's been on. And next week, from Saturday, the snooker.
Hang on. What? What's the cricket got to do with anything?
I watch the cricket. I love it.
I suppose it is something that you can watch while doing something else at the same time.
Yeah, I don't pay any attention to them. I just go, But I sound convincing, don't I?
Well, yeah, I suppose, yes, you do.
And you know... Oh, no, it doesn't matter. Yes, it does matter. There are various categories that they press, so I know what kind of call is coming through to me. With this company, I know the kind of call. There are 28 categories. And...
Of what?
Do you want to know?
Well, I don't know, do I?
Yeah. I can get the book from my room.
Well, wait a minute. 28 categories of what?
What they can talk about. They have to select.
Oh, right. Really?
Hold on, I'll get you the categories. I won't.
I don't think we need to know this, do we?
Yes, it's funny.
All
You'll
right.
like it. You'll enjoy it.
As long as it's funny.
It's very funny. Because if I know by this, it's a sequence number in group. If it's group 20, it's rude.
So what,
Upper class professional ladies in their spare time, teasing, etc.
I cannot believe you're lying about that. They do not advertise in The Guardian. Come off it. Well, what does the advert say?
I don't know. I don't read them.
Well, you can read The Guardian. You can read The Guardian in public without people tutting at you.
Yes.
It's not like the sport.
It's weird. There's all different categories. One is rude and one is clean. There's a clean one here that says, office message, I'm sorry I'm not available, etc. Do not leave your name in the message. I mean, I've never...
And people like that?
I've never had one of those. Well, you can be a lap dancer or a pole dancer. I've never had one of those either. Adults only.
Well, what's the most... Oh, I don't know. Can you self-censor?
No.
No, I mean, can you censor what you're about to say to chime with the morals of this august organisation?
What do you mean?
You're not going to say anything rude, are you?
No.
When I ask the question, what's the most popular manner of...
Agree.
Yeah.
Domination.
Really?
And...
Now, that's interesting that you say that, because other countries have this impression of the Brits that we are all a bit into S&M.
I find it vile, but anyway. Domination, cross-dressing.
It's a living.
Cross-dressing.
Really?
So many men, yeah. Definitely.
So the top two...
Spanking. They love spanking.
So the top
Shall
two...
I show you how I do spanking?
No.
No.
No. So the top two are S&M.
My hands.
Are S&M and cross-dressing.
Uh-huh. And men wearing ladies' panties.
Yeah, that's cross-dressing.
Yeah, but only underwear.
Isn't that strange? Because if you talk to the French and the Germans about what they think of us, they do say that first of all, they have this silly impression that we all go around in bowler hats and umbrellas, and we're all very stuck up and kind of constipated. But sexually, we're freaks.
Yeah. Well, foot fetish. How do you think that? What do you think about that?
About
I can't see the point in that at all.
I'm sorry, you've lost me.
Foot fetish. People have foot fetishes.
Foot fetish?
Yeah. You must have heard of it.
Well, I've heard of it.
Well,
I haven't really given it much thought.
I get a lot of those calls. A lot of men who...
And do you ever think... do you ever...
What?
Do you ever finish a day's work and you think, oh, I don't really want to do this anymore?
I never do it for a whole day. I didn't do it at all yesterday. I really don't.
And did you feel cleaner and closer to God?
Oh, shut up. No. I had a nice day yesterday. I just relaxed and watched lots of footy on the television.
Did you see Wayne Rooney?
I saw Man United Arsenal.
Right. And did you see Wayne Rooney when he prostrated himself on the grass?
Yes.
That was really deeply unpleasant, wasn't it?
Yes.
That image is burned on my retinas. I'll never be able to get rid of that. Like two sides of ham they were. How can anybody that porky run so quick?
But he does have a potato face, doesn't he?
Well, that's not very nice.
Well, he does. You know, when you're a kid.
A potato face.
When you were a kid, didn't you used to make potato faces out of potatoes and put eyes and a nose and a mouth on it? It looks like Wayne Rooney.
Poor bloke, eh? All he has to console himself with, he's got great fat porky legs and a face like a potato.
And he's got Colleen. Is it Colleen or Colette?
I don't know. One of those silly names. All he has to content himself with is the fact that he's a bazillionaire and plays football for a living.
Do you think he could be a male chav?
Do I think he would be?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he is, isn't he?
But hasn't he got too much money to be a male chav?
I don't think that money has got anything to do with it. It's a question of taste and style, I thought.
She's a chav. His girlfriend.
Well, she's not a chav. She's the chav.
Oh, is she?
I thought the tabloids were calling her queen of the chavs.
Well, no, because I don't know if she'll ring you. You've got one who might ring you.
Who?
Vicky the chav. Bob will explain, I'm sure.
Bob's not here. Oh, Bob.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I literally can wait.
Yeah.
Vicky the chav. There's something to look forward to, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, she rings up most nights.
So what are you wearing, Mandy?
Tracky bottoms and a sweatshirt. Is that
I
okay?
saw... that's fine. That's not what you tell them, though, is it?
No.
Don't tell me what you tell them.
No, I don't. I don't like ridiculous. I don't say I'm sitting here wearing stockings and suspenders. No. Because...
You don't say you're wearing tracky bottoms and a sweatshirt, surely.
No,
how unappealing is that?
I normally say, I've just had a bath and I'm wearing a bathrobe.
I mean, I'm wearing tracky bottoms and a sweatshirt, and no one's going to pay to talk to me, that's for sure.
This is true.
What?
What?
You're supposed to say... What do you mean, this is true? You're not supposed to agree with me. You're supposed to say, no, of course, people would...
You've got a lovely voice. If there was a male version, you could do it.
Why isn't there a male version? How sexist is that?
Well, very, because I don't think women would ring up.
Yeah, women are too smart.
No, because women ring the chat lines that you can ring for dating, like dating chat lines, where they get it for free, but the men have to pay.
Well, women aren't. That's a sexist thing for me to have said. Women are just as stupid as men because they're calling all those ones that have got your horoscope and...
Oh, I wouldn't do that in a million years.
How to get a boyfriend and all of that silly stuff. No, I'm sure women are just as silly as men are, aren't they?
No. Would you ever go, okay? Would you ever... No, you wouldn't, but... You probably don't need to. You sound attractive. You're probably an attractive man.
Well, see, now, isn't that... now, you've previously told me that you're not as good-looking as your voice sounds.
I'm attractive. Ask Bob. He's seen my picture.
He's seen your what?
Picture.
Oh, picture.
Yeah, I sent him a photograph once before all this.
Bob? What's the word?
What? Hello?
How attractive is Mandy?
Oh, stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Are you lying?
No, I'm not lying. Why do you keep thinking I'm lying?
Mandy, why... Okay, if you're stunning...
Do you remember Natalie Wood?
By the way. I'm not telling you off or anything.
If you're stunning, then why do you... I mean, surely you can make more money if you're... you know...
What, an escort or something?
Well...
Don't even go there, Nick.
If you're visually available. I mean, there's the internet now. You can make yourself visually available.
Can I tell you something?
I'm sure you will if I say yes or no.
I'm going to. I've had 2 boyfriends in the last year, both of whom I've met on a dating site, on the internet.
Blimey, there's no end to your perversions.
Well, I don't stand around in pubs and wine bars. A, I don't drink. And B, with the internet, it's like datingdirect.com or something.
I'll tell you what, why don't you call me tomorrow and we'll talk about that?
What, internet dating?
Yeah.
I will.
Great.
I look forward to it.
Ta-ta, Mandy.
Be well.
Bye-bye.
Be happy.
Everything she says sounds filthy, am I right? This is LBC 97.3. Let's go to travel with Joanne Webb.
London's LBC 97.3.
Nick Abbott. 0870 973.
So the Standard today said that the Cockney accent is being pushed out of its heartland by a new kind of speech. And this isn't new. I mean, this is ancient news. The playgrounds and housing estates of London are alive with the sound of an accent that sounds Jamaican as much as anything, with added flavours from West Africa and India. The Evening Standard can reveal, like it's news, can reveal that groundbreaking research, oh, come on, shows this new English variety is replacing Cockney in inner London, pushing the accent that has dominated for centuries out to the edge of the capital and beyond. Does anybody actually speak Cockney anymore? I thought that was like... So, nobody talks like that anymore. It's all estuary, isn't it? More white children are adopting the speech patterns and vocabulary of their black neighbours and classmates. Linguistic experts from London University Queen Mary College and Lancaster University are wasting their time conducting field studies to assess a new variety of English and how widely it's spoken. Based on their preliminary findings, the academics are calling it multicultural London English. Actually, it's just stupid white boys who want to be black because black is perceived to be tough and tough is cool, as opposed to intelligent, which is not and never has been cool in this country. A woman called Ms. Fox stressed that it was wrong to see street talk as white youngsters trying to be cool. The change is more complex and deeply rooted. No, it isn't. That's exactly what it is. It's like that dopey DJ. What's his name? That white guy, Westwood. Tim Westwood. He is the funniest man in Britain. Isn't he? Aren't his parents like vicars or something? It's something utterly comical like that. And he talks like he's from Brooklyn. Gary Phillips, head of Lillian Bayliss School in Kennington, said it's not allowed in classrooms. You can speak how you want to friends in the playground, but in the classroom, standard English is important because that's what they're being marked for in exams. All right, Gary. It's hip-hop culture. And it's been with us for ages. Groundbreaking research. What country are these people living in? It's part of that low-slung jeans thing. You know why kids are walking around with their bums hanging out? It's hip-hop culture. And you know why? Do you actually know why, Bob? I'll ask you, because you're the only person I'm looking at right now.
What?
You're the only person I'm looking at, so I'll ask you.
All right.
The answer is, it's because it's a prison thing. In America, well, anyway, they take your belt away when you're in prison. So your jeans would naturally hang low because your belt doesn't hoist them up anymore. That's what that is. Because it's cool to be in prison. Amazing.
Doesn't it?
And it's got the Parent's Guide to Youth Speak. And every now and again one of these things comes out. And you know that as soon as a newspaper will print a parent's guide to what youths are talking about, you'll know that it's long gone. No youth will ever use these words again, and probably hasn't done for years. But what they say, youths are saying at the moment, is that trousers that hang low on the waist are apparently low batties. Batty being bottom, right? You know what they call their girlfriends? This is really horrible. Oh, it's a hip-hop thing again. Everybody wants to be a gangster and a thug. Nobody actually wants to do work anymore. I met somebody the other day who puts 21-year-olds who've been unemployed since they left school, or tries to place them in work. Guess what they most want to be? They come in for an interview and they say, what would you like to be? What do you most want to do? Guess what their answer is almost all the time?
A rap star?
No, worse than that. It's, I want to be famous.
Oh.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
We've got an entire generation now growing up who are seeing people like Chantel and all of those nightmare people that take up the first 7 pages of the Sun and the News of the World. I read the News of the World this week. I didn't have any idea who they were talking about. All of this, Chantel's doing that, and Shireen is doing that, and Colleen's doing the other thing, and I'm thinking, I'm as in touch as a High Court judge. I've got no idea who any of these people are. But they were taking up, full pages with pictures, and it all seemed incredibly important. I didn't have the faintest idea what they were talking about. But nobody wants to do anything anymore. Everybody wants to be famous, and everybody wants to... And this person said they all want to start on 30 grand a year. These are people who've been unemployed since they left school. And if they can't get 30 grand a year, which, let's remember, is twice the national average, they don't want to bother. If they can't immediately go into a job where they get 30,000 a year, then they'd rather not make the effort. Thanks all the same. I'll stay at home and get the gyros. It's quite sad, really, isn't it? That throughout school they're over-rewarded for minimal effort, which is, grade inflation. There's an excellent programme that's just started on Channel 4. It's just restarted. And it's the one thing that makes me shout at the television more than anything else. Since they take kids and remove them from their comfy home life and put them into a facsimile of what school used to be like in the 50s. Do you see this? Brilliant. And you're shouting at the screen, these dopey kids with their looking through their fringes, going, followed closely behind by their dopey parents. And, it's not the children's fault, really, because they only experience what we set up for them. It's the parents' fault. It's the parents' fault and it's the government's fault. Because at school, they've been told that everything they do is super. And you barely just have to show up for an exam to get an A. Or an A star. And they're leaving school with fistfuls of super-duper exam results. And their mummies and daddies are cooing over them that everything they do is, is just great. And they're their little flopsy-wopsies. And they wander around in this kind of, just completely encased in cotton wool their whole lives. Because everything has been laid on a plate for them. And so, if you run your whole life where everything is given to you and everything you do is considered to be beyond reproach, then that's how you expect life to continue. And then you get outside and suddenly people want you to actually work for a living. And it comes as a shock. People are stunned. They can't believe it. People are leaving school and... the CBI, oh God, what does the CBI stand for again? The Institute, well, I say the Institute of Directors, because these are the people that actually said this. They're saying, they went to Tony Blair and they said, you know what, Tony? Kids are leaving school and they can't spell, they can't write, and they don't have any social skills of any kind whatsoever. And, as is normally the case, the government turned around and said, oh, no, it isn't. Great help. Gordon Brown is out there trying to educate the world. Did you see that? Oh, he's acting like a true statesman. He was out there on the news today shaking hands with a line of petrified African children who look like they've been dragooned there at gunpoint. Here's a tip, Gordon. If you are that portly, don't take your jacket off. If you have gigantic man boobs, best keep the jacket on. Last time I saw boobs that big, they had tassels on them. But he's going to go and educate the world. How about starting here? Here would be a good point. Education, education, education. If every bus in the country has got kids in the back of it who are shouting, "Oh, you're so stupid," at each other, then you know that we have a little work to do here before you go and educate the poor tykes in Africa. It's just a suggestion from me at LBC 97.3.
London, LBC 97.3.
London's LBC 97.3. 0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
Is Ken Livingstone trying to act daft, or does it just come naturally? What is wrong with that man? I mean, I know he's in China, but he must know that everything he says gets reported verbatim over here. Come on, Ken, get it together. At least he's trying to do something about the pigeons in Trafalgar Square. Is that the best thing that Ken has actually done yet? And now pigeon wars have broken out in Trafalgar Square. Oh, there we go. Animal rights activists have found a legal loophole which is allowing them to flout Mayor Ken Livingstone's ban on feeding birds he once described as rats with wings. Well, he didn't describe it, he just copied off Woody Allen. This looks like it was in the Telegraph to me. Mr. Livingstone is determined to clear the creatures out of the square and has been steadily cutting their food supply to starve them out. But campaigners are distributing grain to the birds after discovering that the mayor's bylaw banning feeding only applies to land within the Greater London Authority's boundaries. At the north end of Trafalgar Square, that bit that they've paved over, which is actually brilliant, actually. So I don't know. Everything for a while, you just expected everything that that they would do to London would turn out to be awful, because they had these grand plans. Oh, we'll build bridges either side of the railway bridge, linking the South Bank to Embankment. And you thought, oh, God, here we go. This will be a disaster. But it turned out to be fantastic. Two of the best bridges I think I've ever seen in my life. And then there's the other one, which was the Wobbly Bridge, which was between the Tate and St Paul's, which is, it's got to be the best bridge in London. It's beautiful. And the return at the end, when you get to the Tate side of the bridge, it was going to be a smooth line, but they found out that they couldn't get it down quick enough, so you had to double back on yourself. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? You're looking at me like I've gone nuts. Well, it turns out that the return is actually the best part of the bridge, because as soon as you go around the corner, you are presented with this fantastic view of the bridge with St Paul's right in the middle of it. Brilliant. So that turned out to be fantastic by accident. And the pedestrianisation of the north part of Trafalgar Square is great, because people are starting to use Trafalgar Square for the first time. Before that, it was just nuts feeding pigeons. And that old geezer used to sell pigeon feed, like something out of Mary Poppins, twopence a bag. Considerably more expensive, I would imagine. But I can't believe that people are actually standing up for the rights of pigeons. How silly is that? Campaigners are distributing grain to the birds after discovering that the mayor's bylaw only applies to a part of Trafalgar Square, because it's within the Greater London Authority's boundaries. The North Terrace, the bit that they pedestrianised, remains Westminster Council's property, or under their control, and is therefore exempt from the mayor's bylaw. So in other words, if you want to feed pigeons, you can't do it in the square part itself, but you can legally feed them on the nice bit, which will very shortly be covered in exactly. The Pigeon Action Group said that it would fight attempts to achieve a total ban on feeding and claimed the mayor's cruel campaign had killed about 2,000 birds. Hurrah! Not nearly enough. Once they didn't get enough to eat, they succumbed to viruses, the group's spokeswoman told the Evening Standard. Oh, it's the Standard. We've been trying to keep them healthy. Why? They've died in their thousands because of his policy. Well, great. Isn't that exactly what he wanted? A deal was struck with Save the Trafalgar Square Pigeons Group that ensured the birds received less food for breakfast before being driven from the area by a hawk, before calling up Mandy for a chat. So, off the top of my head, that's the only thing I can think that Ken Livingstone has done that's actually good. Does every poster that has anything to do with him have to have the Mayor of London on it? I mean, that seems a bit egotistical to me. You look at the posters that are on the tube or any advert in the newspapers that has anything to do with London has got the Mayor of London's logo all over it. Is that absolutely necessary? I mean, does Ken have to thrust his personage down our throats all the time? Even from China he's doing it. Let's have Barnsley. Hello, Louise.
Hiya, Nick. How are you, Dal?
I'm all right, thanks.
Good. Right, you've just been talking about lots of stuff there. And, right, I want to agree with you first of all for the education thing. I'm 18. Alright, I left school like 2 years ago, and the standard teacher was absolutely terrible.
Well, what do you mean by that?
The English teachers couldn't spell and asked us how to spell words. The math teachers wanted us to play bingo all the time.
What?
And, exactly.
No, what do you mean they wanted you to play bingo all the time? Surely not.
She had this silly game that was like bingo, and if you got a square or whatever, you had to put your hand up. And that's what she wanted to do every lesson, and apparently that helped us learn about numbers. And,
Let me do a little test.
What?
All right. This is something that I do every time somebody like you comes on the air with me. Now, I don't mean to ridicule you, and you can refuse to answer if you like.
So if it's anything to do with intelligence.
You don't have to answer this.
Right.
What are 6/8?
Why? Are you testing some stupid?
Oh, thanks for playing.
Right.
You see, now you're 18.
Yeah.
What qualification in mathematics have you got?
I'm ashamed of it. It's an F.
It's a what?
An F.
An F?
Yeah.
You failed?
Yeah. Well, no, not fail. It's the one before you, which is unclassifiable.
An F. F stands for fail.
Yeah,
Louise.
But we didn't have a very good maths teacher anyway. And
You see, that is incredible. It's not the
if you're in
children's
the bottom
fault.
group at maths, though,
But it's not the child's fault, because you can only work with what you're given.
Exactly. It is unbelievable. But I did quite well on everything else, apart from that. But it's like, if you're in the bottom set for, like, anything, because, like, we had sets, like, top to bottom, and if you're in the bottom for, like, anything, they just didn't care, and they just give you whatever they thought they could get away with giving you. Which, in this case, was like this stupid bingo game that a 3-year-old could play.
Now, I wonder if that's because they thought, well, these kids aren't going to get a pass anyway, so they're not going to be part of our statistics.
Well, yeah.
So we'll just forget about them.
They could help. They could have helped us, though. I mean, I think maths is a really, really important thing to have. And I wish I knew maths, but I don't, you know. So they could have helped us a bit more, I think.
Well, some people are good with numbers, and some people are good with words. Numbers, with me, I can't do them at all. Like Sudoku and all those, I can't even pronounce it. Sudoku?
Oh, I can't do that.
No idea. Sudoku, right. I just can't do them. Crosswords, yes, I can do those, because they're words.
Yeah.
But that's the way my brain is wired, and you're probably just like that. You're probably quite, eloquent under a head of steam.
Sometimes. And then the famous thing as well. I agree. I think it's an easy way out. Because, like, when I was at college, I was talking to one of my friends, and she was looking at the expert thing. I said, why do you want to go on there? She says, oh, the famous, I want to get on TV, and everybody will know me. I was like, what? But
that does seem... I mean, it seems incredible to me that... everybody wants to be a rock star and a footballer and so on. But that's something that you have when you're really young, and it's a fantasy. But people seem to be growing up and thinking that is actually what they're going to do.
I know. Well, I'd rather go down to the shop without people taking photos of me anyway.
Why?
Because that's what happens when you're famous, isn't it? But no, it's not really realistic, is it?
So what do you want to do when you
If I told you, you'd laugh or take the mickey. I want to be a radio presenter.
Oh, no.
I am.
So you want to be famous?
Not famous. I just want to play songs and talk. It just seems.
You want to play songs and talk. Okay, let's break this down into little bits. I'll do my very best to dissuade you.
Good.
Now, every time I talk to somebody who wants to be on the radio, I always end up saying the same thing, and it goes in one ear and straight out the other, and then
I've wanted to do it all my life.
And they think that I'm talking rubbish. Okay, now you want to play what? Your favourite songs?
We know you get told what to play and stuff like that, right?
So you know that.
Yes, I know that, and I know you get told what to say as well because you'll get promotional scripts. I know you've got to be good at the breakfast show and that. I mean, we went to a radio station to see how things work there with college. I've done an RSL as well, so.
All right, well, you're way ahead of me. So you do realise that doing it in an amateur way it's kind of unique, because if you're an amateur photographer and an amateur and a professional photographer, it's kind of the same thing, right? You're taking pictures. But being an amateur DJ at hospital radio or student radio or whatever it is totally different to doing it.
You say what you want to do, you get to say what you want to say. It's not what it's like at all.
So why do you want to... I don't get it. I mean, knowing that, why do you still want to be on the radio?
I love it. I think I get a buzz off on it, I suppose, and I do like it, and I just enjoy it. I don't know why.
Louise, the thing that's coming to my mind, I mean, you're probably not going to like this, and everybody who's listening at home is probably thinking the same thing, is, well, it's the voice.
The voice?
Yeah.
What?
Well, see, radio people want...
I haven't got a nice voice, right? Yeah.
Radio people want... well, it'd be easier to say what they don't want. They don't want strong accents. And you have quite a strong accent.
Well, no, actually, I've been told that's a good thing now, because there have to be more accents in radio. I've been told that's a good thing.
Well, up to a certain point, yeah.
Obviously, I couldn't do what you're doing, talk show. Like,
Oh, I don't know. It's hard for me to get a word in edgeways.
I am sorry.
But I think you'd be restricted to where you live with an accent like that. I think your local Barnsley radio station, whatever that's called, would probably, well, welcome you with open arms. It might be stretching it a bit. But I bet even though your local Barnsley radio station has got people that talk like me, that sort of have this kind of strange nothing kind of an accent. It's a bit of this and a bit of that, and not really anything very much.
People, so.
Huh?
Local stations have local people, and you know. So.
Do they sound like you?
Thanks.
No, do they sound like... They have
a northern accent, yeah.
Right. Because to my ears, you've got quite a thick northern accent.
Well, I've been told I'm quite posh for where I am.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. Barnsley, eh?
Yeah. I know.
And the other thing is, you've got quite a high and kind of... do you actually want me to say this, or should I just wish you well and all
no,
the best?
just say it.
All right, you've got quite a high, kind of tinny, nasally sound. You want to bring it down a bit, because accents or not, people on the radio have to have a certain timbre to their voice. It has to be a bit deep, because otherwise it's like a mosquito attacking your ear.
Right.
So you have to concentrate and really bring your voice down.
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Which means less talking in where your face is and more talking where your chest is.
Right.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I get you.
But you're only 18, right? So your vocal cords... you want to start smoking.
No. I'll kill myself, but it doesn't matter because I'll sound sexy.
That's right, yeah. Smoking and drinking whiskey, something like that. Give it a go, why not?
Yes. I'll do that for you.
You could probably put it down as on expenses.
What, smoking and drinking? Oh,
yeah.
Bill as well for when I get kidney failure and lung cancer, yeah.
But at least you'll have a career.
Yeah.
All right, well, do anything else, Louise. Think about doing anything else. It's no kind of... Because
that's easy.
I tell you what, you're 18. In 20 years' time, I seriously doubt that there will be much of a music radio business. Well, yeah, they'll all be robots, but, I mean, even now, I mean, think about it now.
There'll still be room for people like you that like talk shows.
Well, yes.
I think people still want the company, won't they?
Talk shows, yes. Music DJs, I think that my generation of music DJs will be one of the last. I think that in 10 years or 20 years' time, there won't be such a thing as music DJs, because think about it. Oh, I'm way past the break, aren't I?
Oh, do you want me to go?
Hang on a sec.
Don't worry.
Huh?
That's all right, don't worry.
You're still speaking in the wrong mic.
I'm not. It's this mic, isn't it?
Well, you're sounding very faint.
Well, that's how I sound normally.
Okay. No, I seriously, Louise, think about doing anything else. Because if you want any kind of career, then you're going to be doing it for at least 20, 30 years, right?
Yeah, right.
Unless you're a talk show. I think that talk radio, the talk format, will last forever.
Yeah, I agree. People always want that company, won't they?
Yeah, but however, music DJs, I think in a couple of generations' time, people will look back and think, why on earth did we ever have people interrupting our music? But people just won't get it.
It's the most annoying thing on radio.
Because if kids your age now are listening to MP3 players and listening to streaming music on the internet, then imagine what it's going to be like in 10 years' time.
Yeah, I accept that. Totally.
But you're not going to change your mind, though, are you?
No.
No, right, because the one thing about radio is that it's in your blood, and you have to do it, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've wanted to do it all my life, and I've been doing it for 4 years nearly, so...
Well, I hope that I haven't depressed you, and I hope that I have perhaps given you a little pause for thought, that maybe getting another skill of any kind would be a good thing, as a backup. How's that? Do I sound a bit like your dad?
You're cooler than my dad knew.
I seriously doubt that, but anyway, thanks a lot, Louise.
Nice talking to you.
Ta-ta.
Yeah.
This is LBC 97.3. Let's have travel with Joanne Webb.
London's LBC 97.3.
0870 9090 973.
Nick Abbott.
Yes, I'm in for Clyde Bull, who's taking just 2 days off, so don't panic. Hello, Vicky.
Oh, hi, I forgot your name, sorry.
Nick.
Nick, yes. I've been listening to Bill and Adrian and everyone, so sorry about that.
No worries.
How are you?
All right.
Cool. Oh, no.
Press 1 if you want to continue this conversation.
Oh, no, that just leads on really well, because when I rang up, you were speaking to that woman.
Oh.
The phone line woman.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought it was rather funny, what was being said. But since then, you've spoken about pigeons. Yes. And I have, well, not a pigeon story as such, but I have an injury thanks to a pigeon.
You have a pigeon-related injury. Right.
Although it's not, no, basically, just where I used to live, had a balcony where pigeons would come onto. Yeah. And in the rush of having a 6-week-old baby and cooking dinner and stuff, but I don't like birds. And I had the window open.
No, there's something really quite repulsive about birds. I mean, we think they're nice and sweet.
I don't like them. No, they're just horrible. I don't know. They just flap around and annoy me and don't like them. So I have banged my hand onto the window, and in doing so, a piece of glass has fallen down onto my arm and just totally sliced my arm, and left me with a lifetime nerve injury.
That's something like would happen in a Damien film, isn't it?
Oh no, don't say that.
Seriously, it's
that doesn't come for me.
The devil planted a pigeon
exactly.
Huh, you're lucky to be alive.
It was.
Lucky to be alive.
Oh, it was. It was very, very scary, actually. Yeah.
What kind of glass was that shattered into pieces?
You tell me, because I didn't bang it. I just didn't bang it very hard. It was before the day. It was council property. Before the day.
And you didn't sue?
No, I didn't.
How long ago was this?
Where?
How long ago was this?
How long?
Don't say where.
All right. How long ago?
Well, 8 years now.
Oh, well, too late now.
Late. Far too late. I wish I had, though, because a lot of people said that I should have done. Apparently, the legal thickness of glass was 2 millimetres, and when I'd actually measured it, it was only 1. So, there's not a lot I can do now, though.
I think the statute of limitations is do we call that over here, or is that an Americanism? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. I think it's gone. Your chance has gone. You could have been a millionaire.
I know. It would have been handy.
I've seen a flock of parrots have taken residence up near me. Parrots, like bright...
Oh, are they those, the green ones?
Bright, luminous green.
They're, what are they? Oh, parakeets?
I don't know.
Parakeets?
What's the difference between a parrot and a parakeet?
I don't know. But I know that where I live, these things are called parakeets, because when I'm at the park with my children, my friend says, oh, there's more parakeets there. So...
Well, how on earth did they get to the...
I haven't got a clue. I'm useless with that sort of thing. And I'm glad that I don't want to be a radio presenter as well, Nick, because... I was thinking exactly what you were saying, but I must admit...
Well, I didn't want to be nasty to you, but...
No, you weren't at all, but...
Someone's got to say it.
I'm glad that you did, because I couldn't understand her.
Oh, come on, she wasn't that bad.
No, I couldn't know. I think it might have been the phone for me, you know, just listening through the phone. I must admit, I did try and turn the radio up to listen, and it was a tiny bit better, but, well, there you go.
But it's like, see, I don't want to be nasty.
No, go on, don't worry about it.
But some people who aren't, say, well, okay, here's a perfect example. You know, Pop Idol?
To be honest, I don't watch them.
Oh, come off
it. I promise you, I do not watch those programmes. I can't stand them. I don't know who the only person I know anything about, one is Darius, and that's because my son has a middle name called that, and funnily enough, I texted it into Clive Ball one day, and he blamed me for using all the reality TV show names.
Darius?
Nothing to do with
Where
that.
would you get the name Darius from?
Well, I used to work in a nursery, and one of the children in the nursery happened to be called Darius. And it was the first time I'd ever heard the name, and I think it's a gorgeous name. And then about 6 or 7 months later... you know, this TV star from some singing programme comes along, and he's called Darius, and...
Well, what would you shorten that to in school? Because it's way too long for
I don't know,
kids to call it.
it's actually one of my boys' middle names.
So it was shortened to Da. Dar.
Yeah, Dar.
But you can't end on a soft
There's no...
on a soft R, can you?
Actually.
Dazza. There you go.
Yeah, Dazza. Oh, how horrible.
I know. See, Darius is quite a nice name. Dazza
Exactly.
isn't.
Yeah, exactly. But it wasn't an S for me anyway, so he wasn't called it by first name.
But, so you know Darius, and who else?
This sounds really terrible, but the only, Michelle.
Well, the
big girl.
Scottish woman.
Apparently,
what happened to Michelle?
That's thanks to Clive Ball, because, you know, I listened to the radio a lot, and they were often talking about it when it was happening, and she was the fat one, apparently.
Oh, well, that's not very nice, but yeah, you're right, she was.
Saying it, but...
Simon Cowell must have held his head in his hands when that result came in. He must have been thinking, what can I do with her?
I've seen him interviewed a couple of times. He's very funny. He's so sharp, isn't he? He's really quite horrible from what I hear.
Well...
I don't know if he's truthful, though, and horrible, or if he's just...
But anyway, but Michelle, do we miss her? Well...
London's LBC 97.3 0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
So there's a letter in the Telegraph today, and you know, if it's written down, then the tone of it is quite hard to determine. This is why emails are no good. Organisations should not have emails sent within them unless they're gigantic like IBM. You should actually talk to people. What's the vibe here? Do people who are sitting next to each other at desks email each other? Do you actually swivel around in your chair and talk like real human beings? Is it an email culture or huh?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, it's an email culture.
Is it?
Yes.
Do you like that though?
Well, it's sort of handy if you've got something to say that's a bit unpleasant or something.
unpleasant.
Well, you don't have to go over and say to the person you mucked up there. You can send them a little email, and then it's all sort of...
But that's awful.
It's done friendly, sort of.
No, it's not. That's terrible.
But otherwise, it's sort of a bit confrontational.
Yeah, but it's very difficult to determine the tone when it's written down. You see, if you'd messed up, if I wrote it on an email, then you might think that I'm being awful to you. But I could express it to you face to face in a much more pleasant way, because I would.
Have I messed up at all?
No, not at all.
Your way of telling me?
No. Because first of all, I'd use more words if I was speaking to you, because I don't want to sit there typing all day. And second, you get the tone of what I'm saying.
But you can use those nice little smiley faces and things.
Oh. At work?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Well, that way that people know it's nice and friendly. And you can sort of make little jokes at the bottom and stuff.
You're fired, smiley face.
Yeah. But don't worry, I'm sure you'll get another job. I'll give you a good reference.
So anyway, the tone of this letter is quite hard to discern, but it's in the Telegraph, so I'm assuming that this person's serious. Marion O'Keefe, Woking in Surrey, says, Sir, it's now less than 2 weeks before the Queen celebrates her 80th birthday. Really, I had no idea. Yet, I have heard no mention of what present the nation plans to give her. I wonder if our Prime Minister has a surprise... Oh, she's got to be sarcastic. I wonder if our Prime Minister has a surprise up his sleeve and is shortly going to let us in on the secret. Perhaps we could buy her a new yacht. Her Majesty certainly deserves it for the many years of faithful service to us. And up until that last sentence, I thought, she is being sarcastic, right? But that last sentence kind of makes it sound like she's serious. Because if it's sarcasm, I think that's a step too far. Because she has given us many years of faithful service. I mean, it's not like she's gone and gone into bat for Germany, which she could quite reasonably have done. She's been our Queen.
She has.
So what are we going to guess her?
I think the yacht idea is quite good.
No, it's not. That's way too expensive.
Yeah,
we
but
can't
she hasn't got one of those, has she?
The NHS is £800 million in debt.
She must have got everything else. She's even got an iPod, apparently.
The Queen does not have an iPod.
Apparently the Queen does have an iPod.
Well, I'm sure she's got rooms full of them. People are sending them her all the time. Steve Jobs is probably licking the stamps himself. But if she's actually opened one and has scrolled on that silly wheel, I seriously doubt it.
Well, okay, what could we get her then? And does that mean you have problems with the wheel thing too?
I don't own one.
Oh, don't you?
Why? Is there a problem with the wheel?
Well, I don't know. I just find it a bit too fiddly. You just want a button that says up and down. Not a funny wheel thing that goes round and round and it's a bit difficult to control.
Well, you bought the wrong product then.
Well, but, you know...
There's no end of ones that have buttons that go up and down.
Yes, I know, but you know, I've got an Apple at home. I've got a Mac.
Why?
Because they're great.
Because they're great.
They are great. What, have you got a PC?
Yes.
Well, sorry, but Macs are much, much better than PCs.
What, in the way they look?
Just in the way that they work. PCs are too complicated.
That's a silly thing to say. I had...
No, it's not.
Of course it is. I had a...
You try and get broadband up on a PC, you'll be there all day trying to work it out.
Nonsense. I had one of the first... You know that Apple thing that had like a bulbous base with a metal pole sticking out of it and a screen on the pole?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like a half a football was the base,
yes,
in white naturally, and a levered arm with a screen on it, whatever that was called.
It sounds fantastic.
No, it wasn't. I had because I always used the PCs, and I had the very day that it came out. It was impossible to get, but I managed to find one. I drove all over town, and I actually came back with one. It's the first time I'd ever seen an Apple. You know what? The mouse has only got one button. How can you work a computer?
Oh, that's fantastic. It's so much easier.
How can you work a computer with a mouse that's only got one button?
Especially if you've got kids. That's brilliant.
So
they can't do the two-button thing.
I took it back.
Well, I think that's a good thing.
I took it back the very next day.
What, just because of the mouse?
Yeah.
Well, you could have gone and bought a two-button mouse and plugged it in.
Do they have 2-button mice for Apple?
Yeah, you can plug any mouse into an Apple that's got a USB thingy, I think.
But if it comes with a mouse that's only got 1 button, then surely the other button would be superfluous.
Well, no, because it's still quite clever.
Like a security blanket.
Because it's like, if you press the control button and your 1-buttoned mouse, it will act like the right-hand button on a 2-buttoned mouse.
Right, see, that's daft right there. So to do the action that on a PC would take 1 finger, you need 2 hands on an Apple. That's just silly. That's discriminating against people with 1 hand.
Oh, well, but it works, though.
What would you do if you only had 1 hand? You'd have to get a PC.
Well, no, because you'd control the mouse with 4 fingers, and with your little finger, you press the control button at the same time.
Oh, shut up.
You would.
I've got a finger for you.
I'm sure you have.
Let's go with Bracknell. Here's Jeffrey. Hello, Jeffrey.
Hello.
How are you?
Why did you go techno-nerdy?
I know.
It was getting very indulgent, that was, I thought.
I know. And my brain was screaming at me as I was doing it, and I thought, how can I get out of this as quickly as possible?
Yeah, well, you could have gone to me. Queenie! I tell you, the solution to Queenie is to give her a full state pension, plus the top-up private pension that everyone needs nowadays, so you can have 4 baked bean cans a week, plus a retirement home in pension, and a lifelong subscription to the Bournemouth Bowls Club. And then she'll be happy. And then Charlie can do the job that she was born for, couldn't he? He's waited 50 years to do. No? Hello?
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm just picturing her on a bowling green.
Well, that's what old people do when they retire. And then she can have her hair set every week with a blue rinse, and she'll be well happy.
I recently went to the Queen's Gallery to see there's a Canaletto exhibition there. I think it's just ended.
Yeah.
£7.50 to get in, which I thought was a bit of a rip-off, because there was only 12, I think, a dozen Canalettos, and some old furniture. I mean, yeah, it was nice furniture and all, but it was just a couple of rooms worth. £7.50 to get in, and that doesn't include the rest of the house. That doesn't include the horse parade thing, the horse, you know, where she keeps the horses.
Is this Buck Palace, is it? Is this Buck Palace?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And
well, you had a unique viewing of an Italian masterpiece, didn't you? 12 of them by a man who's named after canals.
But the price at £7.50, I thought that was a bit much, really. I mean,
you pay what, £1.80 for a Wild Bean Cafe coffee nowadays, don't you?
I suppose.
Oh, it's just a hot drink in a cardboard cup.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, people pay silly money for anything nowadays, don't they? A piece of bread with a bit of dead meat in it that's about 12 months old, call it a Big Mac, and people would pay £1.80 for that.
Yeah, you're putting it into perspective. Thank God for you. That's an excellent point.
We live in silly times. We live in silly times. People, you know, you make a jumper, put a name on it, and it's worth about 10 quid, and they pay 60 quid for it.
But
hello?
Before you go, stop saying hello.
Hello. Have I stunned you with my acumen?
I just can't. I've got 4 hours. I'm not going to speak as fast as you do. I want to take a breath every now and again. Before you go in and see these pictures, there's a room set aside for one of the funniest paintings on the face of this earth, which had more people crowded around it than these Canalettos, which were fabulous. If it's still on, you should go and see it, because it's a trip down the Grand Canal in paint form. Which
from what time?
Which has
From what time? When was he painting Canaletto?
Oh, it was the mid-1700s, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I guess. So yeah, about 250 years ago.
And it hasn't changed at all.
Right.
I mean,
still stinks.
Still stinks. Depends when you go, I think. In high summer, it might stink to high heaven. But you want to go in the autumn, when the mozzies are dead.
Yeah. Were the gondoliers ripping you off then? And were they taking your wives away to have salubrious love affairs in high Italian sort of, hotel rooms?
Seriously, nobody should go gondoliering.
No.
That is strictly for dopes.
Why?
I was staying across from, what's that really fancy hotel that's right at the end? There's 2 really fancy hotels, like the most expensive hotels in the whole wide world, where Michael Winner spends...
Travel break?
Huh?
Travel break?
This boy's
Double
a
Lodge.
fool. No, it was the Gritty Palace, I think. That's what it was called.
Right.
And all day long, the gondoliers, they would be lining up because it would be like Mugs Alley. These people who were staying at the Gritty Palace, it was like £600 a night minimum.
Yeah.
And they'd go to the front desk and say, we want to go gondoliering. Righto, they'd say. Just go out to the slip there, and you'll be ripped off at your leisure. And so they get in this boat, and it was comical watching them. They must have thought, oh, well, we'll get in this boat. It's cost 60 quid, and they'll take us up and down the canal. It'll be fabulous. Right. We'll take a picnic and champagne. It'll be marvellous.
Do they start singing immediately?
They don't do anything. What they did is they rowed them into the middle of the canal, which was a distance of about 10 yards, where they stayed and trod water for a couple of minutes, and then they rowed them back again. And that was it.
All right.
It's like going to Heathrow.
It's a minimalist approach, isn't it?
Definitely. It's like going to Heathrow, getting on a plane to take a trip around Heathrow.
Yeah. Do they demand their money back?
I seriously doubt it, because it's all funny money, isn't it? When you go to Italy, it's just, it's not real.
Euros now. It's euros, not lira anymore.
Well, it's not real to us, nor to Americans. It's just, when you're abroad, it's all funny money. It's not real. It's,
It's not 55,000 lira for a cup of tea anymore, is it?
Not anymore, no. But when you go to the Queen's Gallery, you have to go and see this thing, and you'll have to fight your way through, because that's some of the greatest paintings and antiques in the world are in there. Not many, but a few.
Are you going now? It sounds like you're cutting out now. Are you going now? Are you going to a break? Because I wanted to talk about education, which you talked about earlier. Hello?
You say hello one more time, I'm going to dive down this throne and throttle you.
When you pause, that takes the time. Either you're thinking very deeply, or you're lost for words, or I don't know, or you're just trying to make you feel paranoid or something, It's one of the three, I think.
All right, Jeffrey, take a breath.
Okay.
And relax. Don't be paranoid. I'll come back to you in a minute, all right? I just want to finish one of these thoughts without you shouting hello at me. Now, hang on. When you go to the Queen's Gallery, which I recommend that you do, even though it costs £7.50, and he's quite right, that's 2 cups of coffee and one of these fancy chains. Coffee which is inedible, by the way. Not inedible, it's undrinkable. Compared to the beautiful stuff that you get in Italy. What can Italy do? Ice cream and coffee. That's it. Clothes. Giorgio Armani was pictured in the Daily Telegraph just today. He was wearing a 3-button suit with only the top button done up. What an idiot. That man knows nothing about clothes. So anyway, when you go to the Queen's Gallery, there's this room, which is stuffed full of people, because the only thing that they've come to see is what's in this room. There's some of the greatest art treasures in the world that are through the door there, and they're not remotely interested, because all they want to see is Rolf Harris's picture of the Queen, which is laugh out loud funny. You've never seen anything like it in your life. It's worth $7.50. It'll be the biggest laugh that you've had all year. Comical. She must be furious. It's so bad, it's worth the trip. I don't care where you are, you must go. Rolf Harris. I mean, she had to put it up there because they did the TV program about it, right? And Rolf Harris, the whole country's in love with Rolf Harris. Why? Who knows? He did that song about the boys and their horses, which brought a tear to your eye at the time, be honest. And since then, the whole country's been in love with him. He shows up at Glastonbury, and instead of getting stoned off the stage, stoners in the crowd are applauding him. It's incredible. So anyway, the BBC, in their infinite stupidity, did this show about Rolf doing a picture. What do you call it? A portrait of the Queen. And she was hating every second of it. You could tell her face was frozen in a Richter smile. And that very smile is what's beaming out at you from the canvas. Hideous. Worst picture I've ever seen. Names are escaping me now. What's the name of that old Queen that does the art criticism in the Standard? Brian Sewell. Brian Sewell had a fit. Anyway, is there anyone I haven't offended yet?
Nick Abbott.
London's LBC 97.3.
And when I said old Queen, I didn't mean to be offensive about that. he is comical. I've forgotten his name again.
Brian Sewell.
Brian Sewell. Yeah, he's doing this thing about the Grand Tourist on Channel 5. Odd place for him to be doing it, but sometimes Channel 5 is the most intelligent channel on.
Peter Dealey wanted me to pass on a message, by the way.
How is Peter?
Yeah, he's very good. You'll be seeing him later on.
Oh, is he on tonight?
Yes, he's on tonight.
Oh, excellent. Okay, well, I look forward to that.
Apparently the Prime Minister is giving the Queen a tree for her 80th birthday.
A tree? Here you are, Brenda. Have a shrub. What kind of tree?
I've no idea.
And where's he going to stick it?
Again, I don't know if it's a big or a small tree.
She's got loads of trees. She's got nothing but trees.
Yes, I suppose she has, really. Maybe this is a particularly special tree.
Yeah, right. Hello, Jeffrey.
Hello.
Now.
Yeah, seriously, education. The really strange thing I found out about education is, unlike making Ford Escorts at Dagenham, however badly or well you do the job as a teacher, you still get the same amount of money. And it's such a vague kind of nebulous thing to work out whether a child is going to actually do well and not do well according to how good the teacher is. I mean, how do you quantify that? They'll always get paid, won't they? Do you understand what I mean?
Well, yeah, because it's rubbish in, rubbish out.
Yeah, or yeah. Well,
to put it bluntly, I mean, if you get stupid kids, you can't do much with them, right?
Unless you're a very well gifted teacher, but
no,
but
not even then.
No.
Well, if somebody just flat out can't understand maths, then you can't do anything with them.
48. Ask me another.
It's the right answer.
She was slow, wasn't she? I learnt my tens table when I was about 8. You know.
Well, people don't learn their tables
8
anymore.
48, 7 8 plus another 8, 48, 56.
Oh, blimey! How long did that take you?
Yeah.
You're supposed to know off the top of your head, not work it out.
I think it. I haven't said it parrot fashion for many, many years.
But people don't learn that anymore, do they? Because they've got calculators and computers.
Yeah, well, that's probably true, yeah. But it takes away the human factor, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
Well, if you rely on technology, if you externalise all your processes into technological format, then it means you don't have an inner working. You know what I mean?
You did that quite well. I thought, oh, he's going to get tied up and fall over here, but it was like a maze you made for yourself there, and you worked it out quite well.
Oh, I've thought about it before, isn't it? I mean, the camera basically is a replacement for your inner visual imagination, surely. No. No. Isn't it?
But anyway, back to your point. That's quite right. How do you?
When's a teacher? How do you say a teacher's a good teacher or a bad teacher?
Yeah.
Because you say, those kids failed at their school exams because they got a bad home life.
But nobody fails anymore. I mean, I couldn't believe it. That nice girl that was on, she said that she got an F, and I said, "Oh, you failed." And she said, "Oh no, an F is not a fail."
Because it's one above unclassified.
A D used to be a fail when I were a lad.
Yeah.
But it seems that all you have to do is show up these days, and you can. I mean, did you watch that program where they take kids back to the 50s?
I have seen it. I've given up my television because I think the quality of television is so bad. That's why I'm funding a radio show, believe it or not.
You gave up your television?
Yeah, it's so boring, isn't it? TV is just so dull. I mean, it's either a load of prima donnas that have got nothing to offer, try and make 70,000 by hanging around the house for 10 weeks, or it's how to redecorate your wood room for the 4th time this year. I mean, you know, I want a bit more out of TV than that if I pay £120 a year for it. I'm
much less discerning than you. I'll just watch anything.
Yeah, I know it's true. They can't take it, can they? You know, today's tough kids can't take, you're right, they can't take the regimen or discipline of 1950s schooling. I mean, I think perhaps I would have found it difficult as well.
They're a shower, am I right?
They're human beings who need to be loved and looked after and nurtured in the right kind of way, which includes discipline.
And thrashed on a regular basis.
Well, that's good discipline, yeah, exactly.
Thanks a lot, Jeffrey.
Thank you.
Ta-ta, this is LBC 97.3.
We go live to the Velvet Lounge in Clothworld, where Fabric is rehearsing for tonight's performance.
Okay, Fatina, now I want you to sing for me. Sweet almond oil. It's an ingredient, honey, in New Comfort Creme, the luxury clothes conditioner. Make it sweet.
Sweet almond oil.
Yeah, it's great, Sweet Cheeks. Now try it richer for me.
Sweet almond oil.
Okay, now give me luxury.
Sweet almond oil.
Oh, yeah, you nailed it, baby. Fabuloso.
Wrap yourself in luxury with New Comfort Creme.
Nick Abbott.
Let's go to poshest Epsom. Hello, Kira.
Hi.
Kira.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
We're stuck at the beginning of a conversation, Kira.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah, I was ringing because I was listening to the girl earlier who said, like, she wanted to be, like, a radio presenter. And I've always wanted to be a singer because I've been singing since I was little. Like, I was in my school choirs.
You sound little.
I'm 26 actually, but I sound like really young on the radio.
Really young, yeah.
Yeah, and I love singing, and I've done it since I was tiny. Sung in school choirs.
Can I ask you a question about this? You love singing.
And I love singing.
Yeah, but hang on. Does anybody else love you singing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my mum does.
Oh, now mums don't count.
Oh, well, my best friend does, because actually...
Best friends don't count.
Yeah, and actually my workmates do as well.
Oh, okay, well that counts.
Yeah, because one of my workmates left our company, and for her leaving do, we had a karaoke party. And one of my mates said, you should get up and sing, Kira, because you've got a really good voice. I know you have, I heard you.
Now, was she being sarcastic at the time?
No,
Was she
honestly,
drunk?
she's being honest. So I got up and sung Whitney Houston, I'll Always Love You.
Oh.
And one of my friends said to me that you should apply for X Factor or like Pop Idol or something. So I applied for this year's X Factor Series 3.
You applied?
I applied.
How do you go about applying?
You ring the X Factor hotline, which is like an 09011 number.
Yeah, it costs you 10 quid.
And you have to sing a chorus of a song.
No.
And then leave all your contact details.
Really?
And then if they pick you, they write to you and they invite you down to London for an audition in front of the judges. That's like Simon Cowell, Louis Walsh, and I don't know who the third judge is this year, but it's them too.
Louis Walsh gives me the creeps. Am I alone in that?
No, I've actually met him and he's lovely.
Is he?
I've actually got lots of record company like contacts because my cousin works for a record company.
So who's the other judge?
I don't know yet. They haven't kind of. I don't know whether it's Sharon again this year. I don't know. They've kind of said at the moment Simon and Louis. So it could be that they're having a third new judge this year.
They were probably in contract negotiations,
Yeah.
and she was asking for £1 billion, and they said, "Oh no, we don't want you," and she
No.
said, "Oh yes, you do."
Well, anyway, I applied for this year's, and I just got a letter today from the X Factor office, and I've been invited down to London for an audition on the 17th of May. So I'm absolutely over the moon, and I'm so excited, and I can't wait.
And what did you sing to them down the phone?
The Pointer Sisters, I'm so excited.
Because you are
Yes.
so excited.
Yeah, and they loved it, and because I went to the open audition at London last year, and I didn't get through.
Now you do understand. You've seen the program before, right?
Yeah, I've seen all 2 series.
All right. So you know that they only pick 2 types of people to
Yeah.
stand in front of the desk.
Yeah,
Now, one type is people who can really sing well,
yeah. Well,
and the other type are people who are diabolically awful.
Well, actually, I've got a very good inside track on that because I went to an open audition because I get the stage, which is Performing Arts Newspaper Weekly.
Of course you do.
Last year, I saw an advert saying, come to an open audition for X Factor at Chelsea Football Ground on the 10th of June. So I turned up at Chelsea Football Ground, and we were all put in boxes in rows, and we had to go down row by row, row by row, row by row. And at first, you don't...
Kira, can I stop you? I'm sure that this is going somewhere, but what I actually want is for you to sing.
Okay.
Go ahead. Wow me.
Okay. If I...
Oh, no, we're right out of time on that call. That is a shame. This is LBC 97.3.
Available on DAB Digital Radio.
London, LBC 97.3.
London's LBC 97.3. 0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
So they certainly did get their money's worth from that sandwich, didn't they? London radio stations have been talking about nothing else all day. Talk about great publicity. What's it, 85 quid for, how do you pronounce it? Foie gras? Yeah, something like that. Close. No cigar. Seriously, they're not going to be selling that. They'll sell... they'll put it on the menu for 1 week, then take it off, because everyone has been talking about that's the shop that they're selling it in, which I won't mention again. Harrods. For balance, right? Let's go with I'm talking about restaurants. A Chinese restaurant boss has been fined £15,000 after inspection found mice nesting among the dinner plates, cockroaches in kitchen strainers, and a shoe in spice containers. Nice. Oh, excuse me. Hygiene officers also found mice droppings on work surfaces and cockroaches in storage boxes when they went to this restaurant in Chinatown. They were so appalled that it was closed down immediately after the raid in March last year. However, it's reopened. What do you think, boys? Table for three? But that's not all. This just came out today. More than 20,000 London restaurants, cafes and food shops were caught breaking Food Standards Agency rules in 1 year, figures show today. 20,000 in London alone. Council enforcement officers across the capital uncovered a litany of wrongdoings, including restaurant kitchens infested with rats, grime-encrusted equipment being used to prepare and serve meals, and the food on sale well past its sell-by date. The borough with the highest number of enforcements, Westminster, which covers the West End. Council staff uncovered almost 2,000 breaches of the guidelines, which were designed to ensure public safety between April 2004 and March last year. Kensington and Chelsea discovered 1,677 breaches. Hammersmith and Fulham just over 1,000. The only borough to have none at all, Lambeth. 0. None. Every other borough had hundreds, if not thousands. Lambeth, 0.
Really?
This is only explained in one of two ways. Either the food in Lambeth is beyond reproach, better than at the Savoy itself, or they just didn't check. Which do we think?
I'm not saying.
Hands up who think it's beyond reproach, the food in Lambeth. And now hands up who thinks that it's because they just didn't check. Well, it's overwhelming.
Does it say how many rats?
Yeah, what, in Lambeth?
Well, no, sort of like in Westminster. When you said 2,000, I thought you were going to say rats.
Apparently there's a rat per person, isn't there? There's one rat per person in London.
And you're never more than 6 feet away.
6 feet away, yeah.
You see, everyone knows that, but I'm sure it's not true.
Well,
all right, well, where's the rat now? Where we are? 3 floors up.
That's an excellent point.
You know, that means that there's a rat in the middle of here or something.
It must be Alex.
It could be, actually.
Let's go with the London Borough of Yorkshire. Hello, Sean.
Hi, Nick.
How are you?
Yeah, not so bad. I've been wearing glasses. I'm short-sighted for about 20 years, and I'm thinking about having corrective eye surgery, the old laser malarkey. And I know that you used to wear contact lenses. I was wondering if you have any advice on which type of surgery to have.
Well, I'll tell you what I think, but don't take it as advice, because if I say that it's advice, then if it all goes wrong, you can sue me later.
Okay, no, I won't.
My advice is, don't have it done. Don't have any surgery done that you don't absolutely have to have done, right?
Right.
Beyond that, it's the best thing I ever did. And I wish that I'd done it at least 10 years before, but if I had, it would have been... I would have been more of a pioneer, and there's one thing that you don't want to be, as we've learnt lately, is that you don't want to be a pioneer as far as medical procedures go.
Well, that's the thing. I've spoken to 4 people now who've had the operation, and I've said exactly that, kind of, it's great, wish I did it sooner. But, there's blasting lasers on your eyes and...
Well, when you go in to see the doctor, you'll notice one thing more than any other, that everybody who's working there is wearing glasses. They don't even wear contact lenses. They don't believe in their own product.
Yeah.
For one very good reason, is that they see all the things that go wrong. If you go into any hospital eye department, everyone in there is wearing glasses because there's got a constant stream of people all day long whose contact lenses have furred up and their eyeballs have turned back into their heads and their laser surgery has gone wrong and their eyes have exploded. It's just awful. And so if that's what you see all day long, you don't want anything to do with it. So you wear glasses, right? Which was a pretty disconcerting thought that when I went in there, that the guy who was doing it was wearing half-moon glasses. And I thought, well, if this is so great, how come you haven't had it done? But that's the reason why, is because they see it, they see all the things that go wrong. And things, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. But it might not go wrong for you. It didn't go wrong for me. When I get my eyes tested, as I do every now and again, they're surprised that I've had the surgery, because they say it's the best result they've ever seen, which means that everybody else they've seen had a worse result than me.
Right.
And my vision isn't perfect. It's like when at night time, I will wear glasses just to sharpen things up a bit. In daytime, I don't need them. In fact, wearing glasses is a detriment to my sight, because it's like looking through dirty glass, even though it's not dirty. Do you know what I mean? It's like putting a barrier in the way.
Yeah.
But at night, or going to the cinema or something like that, I do need things to be just sharpened up a bit. So it's not perfect. So in other words, not perfect is the best result they've ever seen. So think about that. However, on the other hand, you wake up in the morning and you don't have to fumble and put your glasses on.
Well, this is the thing. It's kind of if it's not glasses, it's your contacts. But I wear contacts when I go out on an evening, because.
And they're a nightmare, right? Because as soon as you go into a smoky, warm, dry atmosphere, you're blinking like you're demented.
That's it. So it's more like social, and I don't really want to be faffing around.
And when you're having sensual relations, do you take the lenses out first or afterwards? Because if you take them out first, then you can't see what you're doing, right?
Well, yeah, you don't want to miss the show.
Exactly. Unless you've made a mistake and you do want to miss the show.
You sleep with them in and you wake up and you think...
Oh, yeah, you wake up, that's right. You can't actually... It's as though somebody's applied sandpaper directly to your eyeballs.
And about 8 years ago, I used to have the non-disposable contacts. So I had to kind of carry around in a test tube.
Boots the chemist. You have like a lens cleaner and soaking solution, and I know, nightmare. You need a dedicated bag.
Yeah, it's not very hip, is it? If you're a guy in a nightclub with a bag.
With a bag over your shoulder. No, you look like a fool. However, if it goes well, it's the best thing you'll ever do.
Right.
It also will be the most painful if it was anything like mine. I think there's two things that they do now. Maybe they only do the one thing now, because what I had done was incredibly painful. Do you want me to talk you through it?
Was it the laser or the cutting and...
Well, there's two. I can't remember the technical name for them, but the newer one is called the flap and zap. Flap and zap, where they cut.
Right.
They cut like a half moon. You know when you open a tin can and you go all the way around but leave one little bit that's still attached to the body of the can, so you can pull back the lid without detaching the lid from the can.
Yeah.
Exactly that principle. They cut around and then they pull back the front of your eyelid, because you can't put the laser on the front of your eyeball, because that's actually skin. It's see-through skin on the front of your eye.
Cornea.
I don't know. Let's not get technical because I'll make mistakes and people will start calling in saying, "Oh, you got that wrong." But basically, it's too tough for the laser to go through because for the laser to go to be strong enough to get through that tough skin, once it got through, it would burn a hole straight through your head. So they can't do that. That would be a mistake. So they have to get rid of the front of the skin on the front of your eye and then use not that kind of laser that they were going to slice James Bond in half with, but something much weaker than that. And then they reshape the front of your eye, and then they put the top of the tin can back. And then it seals up, because then you've only got like a tiny little cut to seal up, right? What they did with me was much worse. Are you ready?
Go on.
First, they put drops in your eye to numb it, so that you can't actually feel the pain. And to make sure that you can't feel the pain anymore, they poke your eye with the end of a stick. And when they do that, you get a visual effect. Your entire visual sensation it's almost like some sort of video effect. Your whole world goes strange, like
It's kind of when if you close your eyes and press on your eyes, you see this kind of psychedelic sparkly images.
Can I recommend you don't do that?
Yeah.
But no, because you've got your eyes.
So when you rub your eyes.
Yeah, I know. I get what you mean. But no, this is when your eyes are open and he pokes your eye with a stick, and so your everything goes funny. So the squares aren't square anymore; they're suddenly like round, and because you're pushing the lens.
You sure the optician wasn't just bored?
Just having a laugh. Yeah. So anyway, they do that, and they make sure you're numb, comfortably numb. Then they sit you in a chair that looks like it was manufactured for torture. And you're alone in the room, and every fibre of your body is screaming, "Get me out of here."
Right.
It does look like, it kind of looks like you're on the set of Mastermind, except you're lying down. It's all dark, apart from this one chair and this gigantic machine that looks like... I don't know. It looks like something that they'd use for an alien autopsy. Anyway, the bloke with the half-moon glasses comes in, and you've got this thought screaming in your mind: if he's wearing glasses, what the hell am I doing here? And then he puts you in, and he brings the machine over your face, and he says, "Look in here and look at this tiny little red light, and don't move your eyes." Now, if you've ever tried to look at something and focus on it and not move your eyes, it is impossible.
Right.
For two reasons. First of all, you just want to move your eyes around, and secondly, you have to move your eyes around. It's an uncontrollable reflex action, because if you don't, then you stop seeing. It's like if you touch yourself right now. Can you do that for me?
Doing it now?
Put your finger on a part of yourself, of your own choosing, and just leave it there. And after a while, you can't feel it anymore, right?
Right.
And everybody through the glasses is touching themselves. Well, it's true. Because after a while, you're used to that sensation, so you don't feel it anymore, right? Same thing with your eyes. So they're always jittering, even if you think you're looking at a single point of light, you're not. Your eyes are moving back and forward, otherwise you can't see it anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, kind of.
So, and I know that, and so I'm thinking, how am I going to stop my eyeballs from moving? So that's what you have to do, because if you start to look away, which you think that you will do, and the laser will start burning the wrong part of your eye, and then presumably, like if you like say you've got a block of wood,
yeah,
and you chisel into the wrong bit, you're going to have to sand the whole thing down and start again, right? And you don't want that.
It already sounds to me.
And so this is what you're going to have to go through.
Right.
And so then he says, right, look at this red light, and depending on how bad your vision is, how bad's your vision? What's your diopter?
Minus 3 points.
Okay, well that's not bad. They say, but more than -4, then it's borderline. So you have to look at this thing for, what, 20, 25 seconds without moving your eyeballs. Try it at home. It's impossible. And then they start the laser. And it's just a thing that flickers. It's kind of, and it clicks. And you suddenly smell the smoke of your burning eyeball.
Was it a nice smell?
I love the smell of burning eyeball in the morning. It's awful.
Right, so is it like singed hair? But not?
Well...
Like bacon, I guess.
Tastes like chicken. It's absolutely horrific.
Right.
And then it stops. And then the real fun begins. He puts a couple of drops in and gives you pills that look like you'd give them to a horse. They're gigantic. They're painkillers. They don't work at all. You go home and you lie down in a darkened room, and then for the next 48 hours, you're in more pain than you could possibly put into words. It's staggering. But that was the thing that they did to me, because I didn't get the flap and zap. What they did to me to remove the skin on the front of your eye was, we took what looked like a tiny little, you know those whisks that you beat an egg with? It's like a metal rod with a circle on the end of it. Okay, well, instead of a big circle, this was a tiny little one. And he scraped the front of my eyeball off with it, while I was looking at him doing it. Still want to go and have your eyes lasered?
I might go for the...
Glasses. Yeah, good choice. This is 97.3 LBC.
London's LBC 97.3.
0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
So this was in the paper the other day, and I wonder if this is still true. Rattled Jose pulls out of Parky chat. Chelsea boss Jose Mourinho has pulled out of TV's Parkinson after his team got championship jitters. This was in the paper before the matches on Saturday. No, Sunday it was. It was a big day on Sunday, wasn't it? Jose predicted his team would have won the title by now and would have had a perfect stage to gloat about it on Michael Parkinson's show next to Saturday. But Chelsea's lead over Man U at the top of the Premiership has been cut from 17 points to just 7 in a matter of weeks. So with nothing to celebrate, the Portuguese coach, who dubbed himself the Special One. What a dope. The Special One. Who would come up with a name like that? I mean, that's just silly, isn't it? Silly man. Has sidestepped potentially embarrassing questions from Michael Parkinson. Maybe he hasn't seen his show. Potentially embarrassing questions. So, Jose, can you tell me what makes you so fantastic? You're so handsome and smart. What is your secret? You really are great. How do you do it? And now here's my next guest, Billy Connolly. Here's Catford. Hello, Larry.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Here's one in Sutton. Solomon.
Hello.
Hey, Solomon.
How you doing?
All right. What's up, Solomon?
Just ringing to say hello. Just what I told you about my brother's restaurant in Lambeth.
Has it been shut down lately?
No, doesn't get shut. I've had first-hand experience of the health and food hygiene in Lambeth.
Oh yeah, go on.
They do strike fear into all the restaurateurs in Brixton. I can remember one particular morning when he came in. They come in unannounced.
Yeah.
And there was ham and cheese on the same shelf in the refrigerator.
Right.
And, he was absolutely livid. Absolutely livid. Because of cross-contamination and so forth.
And what did he do about it?
Well, he didn't really do... He just says, if he ever sees that again, he will shut shop down.
And when was that?
A couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago, right. Because this thing that just came out, where Lambeth came up with 0... And I'm throwing it on the floor here. One moment, please. 20,000 London restaurants, cafes and food shops are caught breaking food standards agency rules in 1 year. This is the year just over.
Yeah.
In London, none of which were in Lambeth. Every other part of London had hundreds, if not thousands, of enforcement actions. Lambeth, 0. How is that possible?
It is possible because they're very good at their job.
Oh, get out. Who are?
These health and food hygiene inspectors, they are very good at their job, and you know they make it clear that when they come round, they'll pick on everything.
Nonsense. That's simply not possible. If every single other part of London has hundreds or thousands of enforcement actions, how can Lambeth possibly have none?
I believe that to be correct.
Well, it might. I don't doubt that it's correct, but it can. But do you think it's correct? But you're saying it's correct because they're doing such a fantastic job that people who cook and serve food in Lambeth aren't doing anything wrong. That's just silly.
It's silly. I mean, when he comes in, there are certain things that they find that they're not happy with. You know, they give you a couple of days to sort it out, and they come back. Other than that, if you know anything major, then they do come down on you like a ton of bricks. They don't mess about.
Well, apparently they do, because they haven't come down on anyone like a ton of bricks. They haven't enforced any actions on anybody in Lambeth. That's none at all. That's impossible. Either everyone in Lambeth is serving is being legal, decent, honest and true in the food business, or they just haven't gone out and checked, or they're letting everyone off. Three possibilities.
3 possibilities, yeah. Well, you know, I've had first-hand experience of them, and they are very good. I mean, the same food and hygiene inspectors actually eat at our shop.
Now, see, but they get access to the kitchen, don't they?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
See, the rest of us poor mugs, we just have to sit out front and...
Oh, no, not in our pub. Not in my private shop, you can see the kitchen. If you wanted to go around the back, there's some tables around the back where you can see the kitchen working.
Yeah, I quite like that you can see, you can go to places and actually see them splitting into the soup, whatever it is.
It's always full up at the back, so, you know, people seem to like that.
Anyway, you said you wanted to talk about your restaurant.
It's not mine, it's my brother's. That is the restaurant.
You wanted to talk about it, in other words, talk about it like an advert.
Like an advert, I don't need advertising. It's always busy.
Right.
It's always busy. It's always packed. So it doesn't need advertising. I mean, if you ever fancy coming down, just tell them you're from LBC and they'll give you a free breakfast.
A free breakfast?
A free breakfast.
How can you get yourself together to get out of the house without having breakfast first? Brunch. Can we make it brunch?
Make it brunch.
There you go.
You'll enjoy it.
It's a deal.
Okay then, Nick.
All right, thanks a lot, mate.
Thank you, mate. Good night.
Ta-ta. This is LBC 97.3. What have we got? We've got Peckham and Waltham Cross and Millhill and Hornchurch and Ashford. Electric Parade. Where's that?
I don't know. I think she makes it up.
Is the name made up as well?
Possibly.
Tallulah.
That's quite a long history behind that.
What does that mean?
Well, that she's one of Clive's regular people, and he renamed her because he didn't like her original name.
Why can't I get her...
I was going to say, you're having trouble there.
Yeah, can you do it for me?
Buttons. There we are, how's that?
Tallulah.
Hi. Hello, Nick. I heard the history about me. Is it a book?
I don't know. You'll have to tell me. What is the history with you?
Well, your producer just told you.
Well, not very much.
Okay, he did not tell you very much, but, well, altogether, it was, I'm a real person, and Clive didn't like my name, so we made up a new name.
What's your real name, Tallulah?
Tallulah. I'm not telling you, because I'm incognito. Because I have to hide from a famous family tree.
She has to hide from a famous family tree.
Just leave it with Tallulah. That should be fine because we don't want to destroy the whole magic.
It's not a family name beginning with H, is it?
The family name starts with an S.
An S? Yeah,
it's to do with two male guitarists.
A male guitarist beginning with S. Can you hang on there a moment, Tallulah? Just take a breath and hang on there one... I'll have to ponder this. A male guitarist beginning with S. Any ideas?
Nick Abbott.
0870 I'm coming up with nothing, Tallulah. A famous guitarist beginning with... second name begins with S.
No, they're not famous anymore.
They're not famous anymore.
No. Well, that's just a band called Scorpions that have been playing last week.
Scorpion?
Yeah.
They're famous.
Yeah, Scorpions, yeah.
And, right. And so you have a relative who's in Scorpion?
My brother is Scorpions, yeah, he made the band. He's the founder.
And what's his name?
Schenker. Rudolf Schenker.
Michael? No.
Yeah, Michael Schenker.
Michael Schenker?
Yeah, with UVO, and that's where I like LBC, because...
We play a lot of Scorpion. Yeah, you're right.
No.
Wall to wall.
No, because...
When we're not playing Magnum and Stryper, we're playing, Michael Schenker. He's great. Yngwie Malmsteen, there's another one.
Yeah. It was his first record company, was Christmas. With UFO.
Right.
But actually, I wanted to talk about something really boring.
Even more boring. Right.
Even more boring.
Go on, then.
I watched this thing with Rolf Harris when he painted the picture.
Yes, painful, right?
When the whole thing started, I thought, he is so nervous. Will he be able to do magic? That was my first question. When I saw him in front of the Queen, I thought, that's not possible. He's too nervous. He won't be able to do magic. And it was painful for the whole thing, yeah.
How did she get into the position where she was strong-armed into doing that? I mean, no fibre in her body wanted to actually be there, surely.
No, absolutely not. Exactly. There was body language, was speaking more than words, and pictures, colours, whatever.
So it must have been a PR department, which must be staffed with hundreds of people who said, oh, you know what, the people love Rolf Harris. And she said, Rolf who? They said, don't worry about it, dear. It'll be great. The people will love you for it. And she said, oh, all right, and I'll give him 5 minutes. And he came up with a painting. Oh, you've got to see it. It's worth £7.50. She must hate that it's in her house.
Yeah, but, I mean, every question she asked him was painfully, developed in her mind. What can I ask him? Because I don't really want to be here, but I want to show that I'm interested. At least that's what came across.
Well, this is a woman who just asks strangers, she just chit-chats with strangers for a living. And this is all that she does.
Well, but I've been standing in front of the Queen with one of my budgies. And the budgie was sticking out of the crowd in my hand. And the Queen was so stunned to see this budgie among the crowd. I was talking to her, and she completely ignored me, so to speak, just staring at that budgie. So she does what she wants in a sort of a way.
You were in a crowd with a... Where do I even start? Okay. What was the occasion?
Oh, you were there. The Jubilee.
The Jubilee?
The Jubilee?
Right, and so you'd elbowed your way to the front. You must have been in there for, 3 days, waiting for a good position?
Well, not really. It was not really one of those very highly visited parts.
And you took your parrot with you?
My budgie, and it was actually pre-arranged with the newspaper because they were there as well. So I have got a fantastic shot with me and with the budgie and the Queen having a good look at the budgie. And then Prince Philip came around, saw the whole thing and said, well, the budgie doesn't seem to mind at all. And that was absolutely the right...
Well, so did you have hold of the budgie? Were you holding its legs so it wouldn't fly away, or what? Was it in a cage or
box?
That
budgie was not able to fly anymore because it was that budgie that was injured when very young.
Oh.
Well, it was okay.
So
He enjoyed it. When we come home, he said, "I saw the Queen."
The budgie did.
No, that was a bit of fun. But he used to say, "God save the Queen."
The budgie does.
Yeah. And she got the recording because I made songs with the budgie, and she sent me a letter back where she said,
"Don't ever contact me again."
No, the other way around. She said, "It's fantastic, the loyal words spoken by your budgie girl, Sammy." I'm just looking at it now.
The Queen didn't say that.
It was written by the Queen, yeah.
Rubbish.
Of course, undersigned by the lady in waiting.
Yeah. Queen never saw it.
No, she did.
She gets 10,000 letters a week, all of which are signed and replied to.
No, when I met the Queen,
by ladies
the
in
lady
waiting.
in waiting was actually there. Her name is Susan, whatever, Massey or whatever. And she actually recognized that picture that I had from her. I mean, the letter, because I took the letter with me in case I need to make proof. And she recognized her letter because it was something they never had before.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Seared on her brain.
Well.
And so what happened to the budgie?
Oh, I've got Sammy the Third right now here in front of me. That was Sammy the Second who met the Queen. Sammy the Third is, the third.
So
and I'm just about to do...
The budgie is no more.
That one, no, because he was very, very badly injured. He could not walk. I basically was a crippled budgie. But,
it's an ex-budgie.
Well, yeah, but the new one is already 3 years old, so it has been quite a while ago.
And it says what?
The new budgie, that he's brilliant. He says, "Come on!"
Well, get it to say something.
Oh, he just had his meal because I would be able to say...
Well, it only speaks when it's hungry.
Well, that is the prompt, the only prompt one. But he's not silly, so he knows he just had his treat and he won't get it again. But it has been...
So really, it only speaks when it's hungry, when you're torturing it.
No, he speaks all day long, but if I want to prompt the budgie to speak,
yeah,
he will be just maybe near his meal time, and
it won't say anything for us now.
Well, I don't... Come on, Sammy. No, he just had his meal, so...
You have no budgie there, you're making this up.
Oh, wow. Sammy, I'm sorry, but I should have waited with this meal, but I didn't think it was required.
All right, well, don't feed the parrot.
The budgie?
Till tomorrow. Starve it. Will you do that for me? And then I'll be talking his face off.
No problem. You can have it. Just before I came on air, he said it for me 5 times.
He said what?
He says, "I love you." Because that's the magic sentence to get his meal. Oh, that's just random. Random? I could have made him say, "God save the Queen," and that is cool as a random, whatever. But I'll show it to you tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, okay.
I will be your regular tomorrow, okay?
Right. I literally can wait.
And call me Tallulah, please, okay?
All right, Tallulah. Ta-ra, dear. Out of her mind. Huh. I'm surprised that she hasn't been walked into a field to commit suicide. I mean, the Queen, doesn't she get rid of people that are really like that? Surely. I mean, if I was the Queen, there'd be a trail of dead people behind me. It's LBC 97. You know what? I haven't given out the number once. This crowd know this off by heart. Let's go with Peckham. I can't do it. This happened to me last time. This machine doesn't like me. Can you give me number 9, please? No? Oh, go on. Just for me. Number 9. Huh? Speak to me, Bob.
There we are. It should be there now.
Doesn't say it's there. It says it's still Tallulah.
Are you sure?
Ah. Bingo. Hey, John.
Hello, can you hear me now?
I can.
I think Tallulah very clearly sort of demonstrates why cannabis shouldn't be legalised. But,
I'm sure that's not what's happened.
with her budgie singing "God Save the Queen." But, yes, interesting call. But I just need to tell you one thing though. That you know that guy Larry who called in. You know the one who said hello 3 times.
Yeah.
I've listened to him quite a few times on Clive Show. I'm not sure if that's his real voice or if he's just doing that, as sort of like his other radio voice. But that's how it normally sounds. But,
it didn't sound real to me.
No, I don't think it does. But sort of Clive has quite sort of detailed conversations with him. But
well, then he can call back when Clive's on. That's the beauty of only being here for 2 days. I can duck out.
What do you normally do?
I don't do anything.
Really? Oh, you're not a normal LBC presenter then, or not?
No, not at all. Nothing normal about me. Actually, these days I'm normally playing music like Saxon and Magnum and, all that loud stuff that last woman was closely related to.
Because when she said a guitarist whose surname began with S, I was on another level. I was thinking of Andreas Segovia, the classical.
Yeah, I think that's you're way above us. We're on a level way below that.
Oh no, I'm not above anyone. I'm sort of just clinging on to gutter level. But anyway,
I couldn't think of anybody at all, and I do it for a living.
Should I have heard
famous guitarist that begins with S?
Should I have heard of the Scorpions? Because
well, not really.
It's like you think you know sort of someone, and you think the whole world knows. Another friend of mine, I talked to him about Stevie Wonder, and he said who? You'd have thought that Stevie Wonder's quite well known around the world.
Well, that's just flat out embarrassing. You don't know who Stevie Wonder is?
I had a friend who's a very good musician, very intelligent guy. Well, supposedly, sort of academically, and he asked me, not as a joke, seriously, he asked if the Beatles were actually from Liverpool. And I said, where do you think they were from? And he thought they were from London. So,
Well, is this a young person, right?
No, he was in his mid-20s. He works in the city, got quite a good job. And he and people around the table burst out laughing. He said quite a few odd things, like once when we were on a train and it stopped, he said, "Is this train refuelling?" And apparently he's got quite a lot of money to his name because of the job he does. But when he asked me if the Beatles were actually from London, and I said they're opening up a new wing in Heathrow Airport, sort of the Lennon department, and he said what?
Well, the Liverpool airport is actually the John Lennon Airport.
Yeah, no, that's why I said it to him. Yeah, and he was completely oblivious to it. And then when I told him about the John Lennon Airport, he went, "No, stop it." And I know, really, it is.
Which is a great airport because there's nobody there. The only problem with the John Lennon Airport is that it's in Liverpool.
Well, they've got Bristol Airport as well. I've never known anyone. I know quite a few Americans who sort of work at Bristol, and when they fly back to America, they come back to Gatwick or Heathrow. I don't know if all these airports are actually used. There's one in Southampton as well, I think. But
I think they're used infrequently. I think stars go into tiny airports around London. They don't actually arrive at Heathrow much. Like really super famous people, they get to like the royal family, for instance. They don't fly into Heathrow. They go into I don't know where. But it's because they don't want to be surrounded by awful people carrying budgies.
Asking if the train needs to be refueled at the stop, but. No, I just phoned in to talk about contact lenses, but...
But no, you're right about the Beatles thing, because, I mean, you think it's general knowledge, but you talk to somebody who's younger, and of course they didn't live through the Beatles' times, so you think, well, why should they actually know that?
Yeah, but I mean, some of the things that I don't know, I thought I've got fairly good knowledge. I didn't know what IBM stood for, and a friend asked me, and when I said I don't know, he sort of looked at me in a shocked way, as if I asked him who George Bush was.
I don't know what IBM stands for. What does IBM stand for?
International Business Machine. I didn't know that, and he looked at me and he said, "Oh, come on, Deb, I presume that was common knowledge."
Well, is this the same nerd who didn't know where the Beatles come from?
No, this is another guy.
A totally different nerd, right.
This is a different... When I was 18, he asked me who Alan Greenspan was, and I didn't know.
I bet 90% of this audience don't know who Alan Greenspan is.
And this is the same nerdy guy, not the one who asks...
Well, is he American?
No, the nerdy guy is, the one who doesn't know about the Beatles, he's from here.
There's no reason why we should know who Alan Greenspan is in this country.
Oh, but he said,
But we should know where the Beatles come from, that's just plain silly. I mean, what's more important, money or music?
Or in the Beatles' case, money and
music, yeah. They're just opening a show in Las Vegas. How much money does Paul McCartney need?
Is he playing again?
No, I don't think so. They're doing one of these silly shows that's based around their music. Billy Joel's got one coming out. Rod Stewart had one, and they did one on Buddy Holly. ABBA, of course, have got a really successful show.
Rod Stewart as well.
Yeah, did I not say Rod Stewart?
Oh, did you say Rod Stewart?
I think so. Yeah, I said it in my brain. I don't know whether I said it out loud. That happens a lot with me.
Really?
Anyway, listen, I got to go. But thanks a lot, mate. Ta-ra.
Bye-bye.
LBC 97.3.
LBC 97.3.
0870 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
Talking of people who are out of their minds, did you read this story? This is incredible. A man took 40,000 ecstasy pills in a 9-year period, doctors revealed the other day. Did you hear about that?
No.
It's believed to be the largest amount of MDMA, the active ingredient, consumed, and beats the previous known lifetime intake of 2,000 tablets. Doctors from the Addiction Centre at St George's Medical School in Tooting said that the 37-year-old man stopped taking the drug 7 years ago, but still suffers severe physical and mental side effects. No kidding. There's a surprise.
Just say no.
Just say no thank you.
Well, okay.
I mean, good manners don't cost nothing.
Yeah, I know, but if you're being offered that sort of stuff, I think you should be a bit more rude.
No, don't be rude, because they'll shoot you.
Well, maybe. I could send them a nice cheery email so that they knew I wasn't being rude.
Don't put a smiley face on the end of it, though, because they'll think that's a come-on.
Just say no, smiley face.
These side effects include extreme memory loss, paranoia, hallucinations, and depression. Hey, I get that. He also has painful muscle rigidity. I'm having difficulty saying this because of the painful muscle rigidity in my face, which he gets too, surprisingly, in his neck and jaw, which can prevent him opening his mouth.
Don't do it.
Doctors fear many of these problems will be permanent. The man known as Mr. A, and I think we know what the A stands for, in a report in the scientific journal Psychosomatics, started using ecstasy when he was 21. At first he took an average of 5 pills a weekend, which seems like an incredible amount, doesn't it? 5 pills, you've got no idea what they are. You've bought them from some bloke in a mask in an alleyway, with a dog on a leash, and a gun in his pocket. Probably not, probably bought them from his mates in a club.
Do you think that's how he started out? What, with 5 the very first time?
Well, I don't know, that's what it says here. Mr. A took an average of 5 pills in a weekend. At the peak, he took, guess how many a day? 25. That's incredible. You can't have 25 cups of tea a day. He took 25 a day for 4 years. And he was a dentist. No, I made that bit up. Following several severe collapses at parties, Mr. A decided to stop taking the drug and for several months still felt under the influence of it. Good grief. I mean, you'd have to be out of your mind, wouldn't you?
Oh, you would be by then.
Doctors discovered the man was suffering from all sorts of everything. A consultant psychiatrist said it's an extreme case, but could indicate that ecstasy can lead to irreversible problems. No, it can't. It means that taking 25 a day can lead to irreversible problems. You know what? If you took 25 aspirins a day, you'd die.
Yeah.
If you took 25 espressos a day, you'd probably die.
Yes.
Can you think of anything that's got some kind of drug in it that you could take 25 a day of and still be like a functioning, walking human being? Anything at all. You can take 25 vitamin pills a day.
Lockets.
And I'm sure it says right there on the packet, no more than 4 in a 24-hour period.
Something like that, probably.
Well, that's incredible, actually. I mean, you'd have to say that this is a great endorsement for ecstasy.
But we're not endorsing it.
Well, of course not.
Here on LBC 97.3.
No, nor would anybody in their right mind endorse such a thing. However, to take 25 a day...
and still be alive.
For 4 years, and still be alive. I mean, that suggests an extremely low toxicity, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
How is the war on drugs going, by the way?
Very well, apparently.
Yeah, right. Let's go with Hornchurch. Hello, Jeff.
Hi there.
Jeff.
Your conversation about laser eye treatment, I turned on as you were halfway through it, and you were giving this story that sounded like something out of the Hammer House of Horrors or Silence of the Lambs. And I had it done 6 years ago, and don't regret a single minute, and didn't suffer anything like the after effects that you said you were suffering. Nothing like it at all. I'm 54 next month, and so I had it done 6 years ago. I'd worn glasses since I was 16. Became very short-sighted. I was -4.5 in one eye, -3.5 in the other eye. A football referee, we won't go down that route, but you can imagine the grief on a football pitch wearing glasses.
Double jeopardy, yeah.
Plus when it absolutely pours down with rain and you can't clear the glasses, that sort of thing. And I ummed and ahed over it for quite some time, and I had a legacy left to me by my sister and decided the best way to use that legacy would be to put something back into my health. But I had it, I paid for it to be done privately. I went to do some research and got in touch with Moorfields because obviously your sight is valuable, and I felt that if anything was going to go wrong, I wanted to be in the best place to have it done.
And so you had it done at Moorfields?
I had it done privately at Moorfields. I saw a guy called David Gartrey, Dr. David Gartrey. He was apparently the first guy to do LASIK, because there were two treatments, PRK, which was...
Well, you know what, we might have had the same guy, because I can't remember exactly what his qualification was, but he was an old guy who wore half-moon glasses, right?
Well, he wore glasses. I had a conversation with him about the glasses. I actually said to him at the time, because he wouldn't do two eyes at the same time.
No, well, I don't think they do they?
His theory is if you get an infection in one eye and it goes to the other, you're pretty much stuck for the week.
Yeah.
And I actually said to him, why, when I went back the second week, why haven't you had yours done? He said, well, I could be rather vain and say because no one's as good as me. But he actually said that at that time his eyesight was so poor that the treatment hadn't come about to treat that severity. But he has, in fact, since had it done.
Huh.
But I had
well, he is unusual, because I bet you every other doctor walking around Moorfields was wearing glasses.
Of course. But I had my first one done at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. I travelled home on public transport on my own. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I was over the park kicking a football around with my kids. A week later, went back and had the second one done. Had a little bit of pain because I felt the slight cut, but I only jerked a little bit. But for the last 6 years, I've had absolutely fantastic eyesight.
So, did you get what was called the flap and zap?
LASIK is all I know. That may have been the start of when that came.
Well, did they scrape the front of your eyeball off, or did they cut like a tin can thing and then peel it back and then put it back again? I bet that's what you had done.
I think it was a cut and flap one.
Yeah. And I've spoken to other people, and it doesn't hurt as much, and you do see well almost straight away. But the pain is involved, and it's a really bad line. So I'm going to have to say thanks a lot and goodbye, Jeff. But get a new phone or go to higher ground or something like that. But cheers, mate. But the pain was involved with. Because they had to scrape, I know this is horrible, you don't want to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Because they had to scrape the front of my eyeball off for the laser to go through, instead of peeling it back. The skin has to regrow. And that was where the pain was involved. You see, it doesn't have to regrow if they just peel it back and then put the skin back again. But if he actually scrapes the front of your eyeball off, and the skin has to regrow, it's more pain than you could possibly put into words. Anybody feeling squeamish? This is LBC 97.3.
Nick Abbott.
Let's go straight into Ashford. Hello, Ken. Oh, Ken. Is there anybody out there? Does that mean that either I've done it wrong or he's not there? What does that mean?
That means that he's not there.
Ah. We talk about Noel Edmonds. Do you want to talk about Noel Edmonds or dishwasher tablets?
Dishwasher tablets.
Or should I talk to Jacques?
Maybe you could talk to Jacques first.
Is it Jacques or Jack?
You'll have to ask him.
All right. It doesn't work. Can you do it for me? That machine just flat out doesn't like me. Hey, Jacques.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, hello, Nick. It's Jacques, by the way, French sounding. Nick, I'm not Mr. Angry from Tunbridge Wells, but I thought you were a little bit patronising with that lovely lady Tallulah. You obviously haven't encountered her before. I've heard her phone in before, and I think she's got a really interesting life, and I think she's anything but a fruitcake.
Hey, you're mixing me up with David Cameron. I didn't call her a fruitcake.
Well, perhaps I shouldn't have used words you didn't, but you alluded to the fact that you thought she was barking, and you finished it off by saying she ought to be taken out into a field and disposed of.
Well, I don't think I went that far. I said if I was the Queen.
Yes. Well, I can just tell you as an irregular listener to this slot, I have to be driving home now after a long day at the office. I've heard her talk a bit earlier in the evening, and I actually enjoy listening to people like her because she's got a life, unlike perhaps people like me that phone in.
Right, well, she was on for a very long time.
Yes, well, I thought that was good, and I'm glad you gave plenty of airtime. But, Nick, I've never met the Queen, and I certainly haven't got a talking budgie, and if I did have a talking budgie, I doubt I'd get to meet the Queen, so I think she should be commended for that, don't you?
Yeah, or something like that. We should give her a medal, or maybe she should be a dame. We should name a train after her.
Available on DAB Digital Radio. London, LBC 97.3.
London's LBC 97.3. 0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
I'm confused. The Italian election is now too close to call. I thought we'd been calling it all evening. I thought all news organisations had called it already. That the new guy was winning or won already. But now, huh?
Yes.
It's like the American election. First they say it's Bush, and then they say it's... There aren't any hanging chads here, are there? I can't believe... it's... The Italian... It's as though... You know, he owns all the news... He owns a significant amount of the newspapers and the TV channels over there. It's as though Rupert Murdoch was our Prime Minister. It's amazing. Well, the first thing we want to do is we want to get rid of all the pufters. And the second, all birds have big birds. Anyway, let's hope they do the right thing, eh? Let's have, here's this bloke in, Ashford. Hello, Ken.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
All right.
Yeah, good night?
Well, it's almost over.
Yeah, you got the lunatics later, probably, anyway, ain't you?
No, that comes after midnight. Peter will have to deal with them.
Well, Clive usually has a lot of lunatics phone him up, but there you go. What I was going to say was that, there's, keeping on a bit of a musical theme tonight. I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy. It's called Roachford.
Yeah, Cuddly Toy.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That was quite a while ago.
Well, it was his only hit, no?
Well, I don't know yet, but there's a lot of fans still out there. I just wondered whether you could sort of plug it a little bit, because he's just brought a new album out called Word of Mouth. And I know he's a bit sort of, maybe people think he's a bit long in the tooth, but he's still a very, very good artist.
Well, how old is he?
I don't know, he's got to be in his, I would say his mid-40s at least now. Well, if that's old to you, I don't know, but I just wondered if you could sort of plug it a little bit, because he is really, really good. And I think that album that he's just brought out, although it's for a little kind of independent label, it's going to do good if you can just get a bit of airtime for his songs.
Yeah, I think you made a mistake in calling a talk station. You want to call the other station that I used to be with. Begins with V. They're just down the road. They'll be thrilled. They still play that old thing. And they still play the same music that they were playing when I was there. Over and over and over again. Blondie. Over and over and over again. If it's not Blondie, it's R.E.M. or U2. They've only got 3 records. The best of each of those acts, and that's what they play. Constantly. Yeah, that's what we'll do, is we'll promote Roachford for the rest of the evening. And here's one of his biggest hits right now. Okay, here we go. No? Go on, Bob. Go and get one of his records. This nice man on the phone. Huh? Go on.
No, so I don't expect they've got it downstairs either.
Dishwasher tablets.
Or Noel Edmonds.
Which do you want? Or, oh, I've got loads. I've got Kate Moss. I've got,
No, we'll steer away from that one for a bit. Well, then let's do dishwasher tablets. Go on.
Well, they're going to name trains after things that have something to do with speed. Kate Moss, Pete Doherty.
Yes.
Government incompetence. Charity donations. Rappers' teeth. Should we talk about rappers' teeth?
I want to know what the dishwasher tablets is.
We are apparently not... should I maybe... I haven't given the number out. Maybe I should go the whole show without giving the number out. 0870 9090 973. I'd like to talk about something other than eyes, because it's a painful memory for me. I'll talk to Edith. Maybe I should talk to her now. Before we talk about something as insignificant.
So you're doing a Clive here. You're never going to get onto dishwasher tablets, are you?
Well, I've got 2 shows. I can do it tomorrow. I've got 5 hours to do.
That's true, I suppose.
All right, well, I'll do her first, because she is... I can't do it.
Why can't you do it?
I don't know. Root. Her.
You are as bad as him, you see.
You just have to hit it hard. Edith!
Oh, hello. Do you still want to talk about laser treatment on eyes, or would you rather not?
Well, do you have anything else up your sleeve?
The gentleman who called a few calls back considering about having the eye, laser treatment on his eyes because he's short-sighted. What he really needs to do before he even considers this is to go to reputable opticians and get the pressure of his eyes checked. Because if the pressure of both eyes is under 20, he doesn't need laser treatment. And as you get older, you become less short-sighted. Because I'm short-sighted and I've worn glasses since I was 9 years old.
If the pressure in your eyes...
Yeah, he needs to go to a reputable optician, not these that are advertised on the television.
What kind of an optician?
A reputable optometrist.
A reputable optometrist.
And they'll measure the pressure...
They should do that as a roadside drug test, shouldn't they? Say reputable optometrist 10 times.
But what... Oh, I can't have to get tongue-tied. What they do, they put drops in your eyes and you rest your chin on like a little,
Yeah, you know what I dislike about that thing? Is you're resting your chin in a pool of grease.
Oh, no, they put tissues on it.
Yeah, but they never pull them off.
Well, they do where I go. And what I dislike about it is when you look at the blue light and they put that thing that covers over your eyeball. Because the day after, my eyes feel bruised.
But what has this got to do with having your eyes lasered?
Well, see, if his pressure's under 20, he doesn't need his eyes lasered.
But what does that mean, though? But he still can't see.
Well, you can, but his eyes are not bad enough to have laser treatment on them. Now,
Well, if you can't see properly, then...
Well, if he's short-sighted, he can see with his glasses.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to wear glasses.
Well, I mean, I had mine done, about 14 years ago.
What done?
Like laser treatment on both eyes.
Oh, right.
One eye was successful, the other eye wasn't, and when they measured the pressure in my left eye again, they found that I've got glaucoma.
Huh.
And I'm just looking at my little booklet now that I keep all the pressures in. I had it done the 26th of April last year. The pressure in my left eye was 16. That's the one I haven't had operated on. And the pressure in the right eye that they had to operate on, otherwise I'd have lost the sight of that eye, it's down to 11.
Now, is that bar or per square pounds per square inch?
Well, I'm not sure. They just say that the pressure is 16 in one eye and 11 in the other. But I advise him, quite genuinely, to go to get the pressure checked in his eyes before he even considers having laser treatment. But as I say, as he
You
gets
seem
old,
obsessed with pressure. I mean, it's like talking to somebody at the garage.
It's a very important thing with the eyes, Nick. Pressure in the eye is very, very important. A lot of people don't really understand it. But I have my eyes checked every year. Now, I'm due to go to the end of this month for another checkup.
Will you do me one thing? One favour? Go to a reputable optometrist.
Yeah, well, I do.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, if he's still listening,
Get the pressure in his eyes
get
checked.
the pressure in his eyes checked before you even consider
You know,
laser treatment.
reputable optometrist.
That's right.
Not one of these ones that advertises in the paper.
Or on the telly.
Or on the telly.
Or on the telly.
Yes, they're not reputable.
Yeah. Well,
They must be, Edith.
Well, I'm not saying they're not reputable, but they may not take the pressure of the
Right,
eye.
they might cut corners.
Yeah, they may not do the eye pressures. Yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it with the gentleman if he's still listening.
Right.
It's up to him whether he takes this advice or not, but
Or
I
not,
certainly
yeah.
wouldn't recommend it until he's had the pressures taken.
In his eye, with a reputable optometrist.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. What a nice lady. That was Edith in Waltham Cross. Thanks a lot, Edith.
Thank you.
Ta-da, dear. This is LBC 97.3, looking after your health so you don't have to.
Nick Abbott.
Take it off. I used to have to play this over and over and over and over again. A one-hit wonder. I don't care how often that bloke calls up. Just take it away. Disappear it. Right now. It was a good song, right enough, but, it was a one-hit wonder. I wonder if he was like his agent or something. His mate. He's British, isn't he, Roachford?
His brother?
Maybe. Roachford's British?
I think he is.
Right.
Maybe it was actually him.
Yeah, good point. Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Close enough.
Close enough to what? That's what I want to know.
To my name.
Did I get your name wrong?
Oh, it's a little bit. Like I say, it's close enough.
Oh, so what is your name? That's terrible.
You can just say, hey, you.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
That's all right. I'm brand new. Why should you know who I am?
But,
I only know who you are because your name's written up there on the screen.
On the screen, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Listen, I think you're freaking out a few people, yeah? Regarding this laser eye surgery thing.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's painful for me to, relive the memories.
But you did it in such a graphic way. I mean,
I was trying to put the guy off. I was trying to give him an idea of what he's got in store. Because if we say, oh, it'll be super and nice and there's no problem, and it's just like getting, well, I was going to say an injection, but that's not something you would look forward to, is it?
How long ago did you have this eye surgery?
I don't know. I'm useless with history. If it happened more than a week ago, I've got no concept of how long. I was like 15 years or something. I don't really
I'm
know.
sure, Mike. I think that's your name. Forgive me if it was. I am sure that laser eye surgery has improved immensely since then.
Yes.
And
it's a whole different. It's like I said. It's a different procedure now. They don't rub the front of your eyeball off anymore.
Oh my goodness me. Because I'm telling you now, I think a few of these laser eye surgery, places, independent places, are actually spitting blood at the moment with you. Don't you think?
Well, maybe, but do any of them advertise with us?
I think, I don't know. You'll be in trouble. The management would tell you, wouldn't they?
Not that I can remember.
Not that Bob can remember.
The moment.
Okay.
Not that they are tonight.
If they do advertise with us, they're tremendous, and I couldn't recommend them highly enough. If they don't, now I'd have to say that I wouldn't want to put my eyeballs in the hands of a production line, which is what I felt that Moorfields was when I went there, because I thought like what that last guy said when he was talking about it. I thought, well, Moorfield, okay, you want to go to Moorfields and have it done there. And it was people in a waiting room, and they were going in and out, and the people were charging back and forth, and nobody, looked at you to treat you like a human being, and you were just a number, right, to getting it done on the NHS. And I thought, no, I'll pay the $4,000 or whatever it was to have it done in those days, and I'll go and... to some place in the city where a chap with half-moon glasses in a hushed atmosphere with nice leather chairs,
and
he'll take time over it.
Music in the background, right?
Yeah, and I think I made the right decision, because like I said, every time I go and get my eyes checked, they're surprised to learn that I've actually had it done.
Wow, that's incredible.
Amazing.
Listen, the other thing, do you know you just played a clip of Roachford?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds great, didn't it? My goodness me!
Well, it was all right.
It it sound good. It really sound. I think because you've heard it so many times on Virgin, you've become kind of, you know.
No, without mentioning any other station's names, you did that really well. That was excellent.
Well, that's all right. You know, we don't really care about that.
Oh, that other station, you know.
Heard Ian Lee this afternoon.
That begins with V and ends in Urgin. Yes.
Because of that, you've become very desensitised to different types of music. Yeah.
There's some bands that I just can't listen to anymore. R.E.M. is one. I just can't be in the same room as R.E.M.
Okay.
Much of U2 as well is lost on me. I just can't bear it.
Do you know
Blondie. I would run screaming from the room. You play Blondie.
Oh, it drives you crazy, does it?
I've just heard it too much.
Oh, goodness me.
Over and over and over again.
Water torture sort of thing, yeah?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, things that are quite inoffensive, like Blondie, you know, they're all right. To me, it's just, it's like the nails scratching down a blackboard.
Oh, my goodness. That's interesting you said that, because, you know, I've been kind of listening to some, you know, old-time music. And I was just talking to Clive about this last week. I mean, I'm very much into Stevie Nicks at the moment. She's got this new single out called Dreams. And I've been trying to find it, and I can't find it.
Dreams? Isn't that on the Rumour album by Fleetwood Mac?
That's correct.
Well, it's not a new single, it's ancient.
There's a new version of it, and I've been trying to find it.
A new version of that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, blimey, talk about starved of ideas. Come on, Stevie, get it together.
A new version.
Doesn't she sound like a sheep? Like that all the time?
Oh, that is cruel.
Huh?
That is so cruel.
She's like the singing sheep.
That. But, you know, I think, you know, music is very objective, subjective. And, you know, everybody likes different things.
Yeah,
like, I like a certain Irish music, like I love Planet. I mean, I think they're very eclectic and ambient sort of thing. So, you know, I think it's very subjective. And I think Stevie Nicks has, I don't know, an interesting poetic way of singing.
Yes, she does. Stevie Nicks is great. How could you not like Stevie Nicks?
Now you're taking the mic now.
No, I'm not. I like Stevie Nicks, and Dreams is a fantastic track. That thing that she did with Tom Petty is great. Stevie Nicks.
Are you serious?
I am serious. No, I'm being perfectly serious. If I didn't like her, I'd say so. Stevie Nicks, she's great. I wouldn't rush out and buy any of her records, but, you know, singing with Fleetwood Mac, how could you not like that?
I think they're pretty good. They're
However, it's ancient music. Can't you step into the, at least step into the 90s? Will you do that for me?
I think some of the music that we have today is really boring.
Well, you're right. Some of it is. But then that's always been the case.
I was just thinking of kind of going back in time, and I just thought Fleetwood Mac's new album called Say You Will. And that is
Fleetwood Mac have a new album?
Yeah, it was out in 2003, but I've only just found it in 2006. And it's really, really good. I'm surprised.
I don't know, there's something in me that thinks...
What?
There's so much new music by young people out. Why is... you know, it's like you're stuck in the era that you were when you were young, and you refuse to move on.
Not at all, because I just think some of the modern day music is very boring.
Well, you're right. You just said that, and I agree. Some of it is. Some of it is fantastic.
I tell you, this band I am enjoying at the moment. It's called Athlete.
Oh no.
A very unusual indie band.
Boring. Athlete.
You heard of them?
Of course, I've heard of them.
I don't know, because you're pretty, you know, mature, and I didn't think you knew who they were.
Boring, boring, boring. It's like Athlete and Keane and Coldplay.
I don't like Keane or Coldplay. I think they're boring.
But they all sound the same.
They don't. Athlete does not sound this. Just a minute. It's not a talk show or radio.
Well, you brought it up.
I know.
It's tedious music for people who don't like music.
I love music. I used to see my CD collections. Unbelievable. It really, but as I was saying to you, music is very subjective. That's why I have a vast range of music. I like classical music. I like Irish music at the moment. And you know, it's just how my moods are.
No, but it sounds like you like all the same kind of music. Clannad and Keane, to me, is the same.
I don't like Keane. I really
All right, athlete. I get the two mixed up because they're identical. Coldplay.
No, they're not like each other.
All of that
They're completely
dreary
different.
music that you just put on in the background just to bring colour to the room. You don't actually listen to it. It's just a warble in the background. It's painful.
No, it's subject. What do you enjoy listening to, Mike? Just out of interest. I'm not going to criticise it because I think it's everybody to their own. You know.
Listen, Jenny, we've established that my name isn't Mike. So
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
stop calling me that.
What is your name, sir? I don't want to be.
Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. Just say, "Hey, you."
Hey, you.
That sounded really. Didn't that sound a little bit dirty? The way she said. You should get in touch with our phone sex operator. The two of you.
Oh, don't even go there.
Huh?
Don't go there. No.
The money that you two could charge as the both of you together. Can you imagine?
Excuse me. No, you're just winding me up, aren't you, big fat? Fortunately, I've got a sense of humour, but and you're dodging my question.
What's your question?
Favourite music? What's yours?
Well, see, I like classic rock music. I like new rock music. I like classical music. I listen to a lot of jazz. I like chill out. I can live with country music. There isn't any type of music that I don't like.
And that's the sort of stuff I like as well. But I've
Except
just
for
given you a few
Keane and
examples.
Athlete and Coldplay.
You see, that's the sort of stuff I like as well. But I've just given you a few examples, and unfortunately, you do not like the ones I like. Unfortunately.
I bet I can't stand anything that you like. Name me another one.
Oh goodness! Do you know what? I've just bought what was it? John Legend.
Oh, it just gets worse.
It's worse.
Try me again.
Try you again. Who else? Destiny's Child are pretty good. Luther Vandross. Oh my goodness, he's really good. You know.
I once, okay, Destiny's Child, no. Luther Vandross, yes. I mean, he had a great voice. But
we made it together. Woo!
all right, maybe we should end on a positive note, eh?
Fantastic.
I went to see
then.
Luther. Hang on, I went to see Luther Vandross once.
Did you?
He was playing in Wembley, and I was in Soho at the time, and I didn't realise quite how long it takes to get to Wembley from Soho, because you think it's in London, it won't be that long. So we were having
Six, isn't it?
we were having a drink in you know that there's only one pub on I wonder if it's still there on Tottenham Court Road. Is that pub still there? It's by McDonald's on the east side, not Tottenham Court Road. Oxford Street. On the east end of Oxford Street, right by the V Megastore.
Oh,
There's a little pub in there.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Right
is.
near there. Yeah.
So anyway, we were in there, and we thought, oh, you know, he won't be on till he won't be on till sort of 9. And and it'll only take us an hour to get there. It takes forever to get to Wembley. Anyway, we arrived, and he was already singing. And we were sitting next to the chap that had given from the record company that had given us tickets.
Wow.
Who gave us a bit of a stare as we came in. I mean, and you know, Luther was in he was in one of his glittery fat suits. And as we sat down, he said, "Thank you very much. Good night."
Oh no! You missed it all.
Every single bit of it.
Oh no! No, was there an encore?
No, we'd missed everything. That was it. Lights went up, and So that's my experience of Luther Vandross.
Do you have any of his albums?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I won't turn the radio off if it comes on. That's the most I can promise.
That's okay. At least we've agreed on one thing. We do like Luther Vandross.
Yeah, but he's dead now. I mean, you see what I mean by old music? You want to drag yourself into the 21st century.
Oh, come on, you've got to tell me which ones are really interesting then.
Well, I'm trying to...
difficult, huh?
Well, it is. My problem is I can't remember things, anything, at all. And unless the CD is actually in front of me, then I don't remember...
What is wrong with your memory? There's something going on here.
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with my memory. I've forgotten.
Ginkgo biloba, that's the best thing, yeah?
It's what, sorry?
Ginkgo biloba.
I've never heard of him, but I bet his music is as boring as all the rest of the music.
No, it's a natural herbal remedy. It helps the...
I seriously doubt that. It's a what? It's helped you to the extent you can't even pronounce it.
It's a herbal remedy. It helps, you know, your head, your mind, your memory.
You're giving me medicine for my head.
Memory.
Right. And it's called a what?
I don't know if I've said it right. It's ginkgo biloba.
It's not related to jojoba, is it?
No, nothing like it.
Do you rub it into your skin?
No, you take it in. It's some herbal medicine. Well, some sort of herbal remedy.
You take it in.
Supplement.
Now,
ingest it.
Which way?
Well, the same way you eat your food.
Oh, that way. Oh, good.
Repository.
The non-painful way.
Exactly.
Huh, is it tasty?
Well, I don't know. I've never taken it, but
Does it make listening to Pink Floyd more exciting?
Pink who?
Oh, shut up. Pink who? No.
No. Oh, you're going to think of something naughty, so let's end it in a high, yeah?
No, I didn't say that. You're saying that.
I know you.
End it on a high, she said. Don't say high in relation to Pink Floyd. People get very upset.
Oh, my goodness me.
And it's
Are
called
they very much into drugs?
And it's called a what now?
A what, sorry?
It's called ginkgo what?
Biloba, I think. If your listeners...
Close. No cigar.
Available on DAB Digital Radio.
London's LBC 97.3. London's LBC 97.3.
Nick Abbott. 0870 90 90 973.
Clive, by the way, is just away for a couple of days and is going to be back on Wednesday. Here's one in Marylebone. Hello, Gary.
Hello, Nick.
Gary.
Hello, mate. Or is it Mike?
I'll answer to either.
Yeah, I tell you, them Jingabola, I mean, she needs a few of them. She couldn't even get your name right.
I'll give it a go, though. Anything to, you know...
Yeah, but they're right. It's either Jingabola, I think there's another one, CQ10, I think. They're a similar thing. They're meant to be, like, good for your brain cells, aren't they?
Well, okay, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
How's your brain?
Yeah, I need a few of them, I think, Nick, yeah. Look, the reason I haven't really rung up on any particular subject,
Well, then you fit right in.
Yeah, well, I've just rung up really to give you my endorsement. I mean, I think you're blinding, mate. You know, you filled in for somebody a few weeks ago, didn't you, on the Late Show?
Yeah, the weekend, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's when I first. And the first time I heard you, I thought, oh, I can't have this. I thought it's a bit strong. But then all of a sudden, like, you take a bit. Once you get, I mean, I think honestly, I think you're terrific. You're so, like the sarcasm, the wit. I mean, I think you're blinding. I've just found out to give you a G. That's all.
Oh, well, that's very nice of you. Thanks a lot, Gary.
Yeah, all right, keep it up.
Cheers, mate. Ta-ra.
All right, bye.
I understood some of those words. It's like the youth of today, blinding. I guess that's a good thing, right? Because if you think about it, it's an awful thing. Blinding. Yeah. I mean, that's a horrible thought, isn't it?
Can we not go on about eyes anymore?
Oh, yeah, eyes. Yeah. Right.
I was going to have that stuff done, but you put me off it now.
Were you?
Yeah.
How bad are your eyes? Can you see me?
Yeah, just about.
How many fingers am I holding up?
Oh, thank you very much. I can see this screen really well, but you're a bit fuzzy.
Right.
So what's that? That's short-sighted, isn't it?
No, that's just me.
Oh, is it? Oh, right, okay. But I was thinking of having it done. When you started talking about it, I said, I'm going to have it done. And by the time you finished, I said, I'm definitely not having it done.
Well, you know what? You should never have... I think it was the best thing that I ever did, and I wish that I'd done it earlier, because I can't live with...
You should have said that at the end rather than at the beginning.
Because I can't live with contact lenses.
You should keep saying the bit about it was the best thing you ever had done.
Yeah, but...
Yeah. Well, I don't want to go into the but again.
It's like any operation. It can go wrong.
Well, just what you said about actually having it done was a bit...
No, but
even the nice one.
Yeah, well, the nice one is...
What do you call it? Flap and something.
I think they call it the flap and zap.
I don't want to think about my eyes having flaps.
You don't want any part of your body as a flap. Is that what you're saying? Right.
No, not at all.
Or zapped.
Well, that
No flaps, no zapping, right?
Well, no, I've had a bit of it zapped. I'm not filling that gap.
Is that what the specialist said?
Maybe it was.
I think we've heard too much.
Okay. I'll pull the fader down then.
Right then, let's have Earl's Court. See if I can get this one up. Samantha.
Hi.
Hey, Samantha.
How are you?
All right.
That's good. I'm just calling because you spoke about Pink Floyd, and I got from what you were saying that you probably don't like them very much.
I love them.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying they were quite boring.
Boring? What's boring about Pink Floyd? You joking?
Oh, okay. Then I didn't get the right message there. I love them as well.
Have you heard David Gilmour? You can't call him Dave anymore because he's a serious artiste now. Have you heard David Gilmour's new album?
No, I haven't heard the new one.
Oh, well, not much of a fan then, are you?
No. Honestly, I like their stuff 70s and before, but when they get into the 80s, it goes a bit weird.
Yeah. Well, anything after Animals, really.
Yeah, it goes very, I don't know, almost.
I mean, The Wall is okay. It's a bit childish in parts. It's a bit sort of juvenile. But then after that, yeah. Big problems.
Yeah.
His latest album is really quite nice. It's soothing.
Is it?
That girl I was talking to previously, who only likes soothing music, Clanad, and she probably likes that Irish woman who earns about £100 million a year that no one would admit to owning any of her records. Who's she? You know that Irish woman who had a Orinoco flow, Enya, yeah. Apparently she earns more money than U2. Who's buying her music?
I can't stand you too. I can't. I'm not really into a lot of the. Most of the people she mentioned, I have no idea who you guys were talking about.
No, well that's good.
I have no idea who they are. I tend to like older rock and classical, but I do. There's one band that I love that's newer. I don't know.
Don't say Coldplay.
No, Radiohead.
Radiohead. See, there's nothing wrong with Radiohead.
They're brilliant. I think they're absolutely genius. Yeah.
It can be a little difficult sometimes. It's one of those difficult bands.
Well, I think their musically, they're absolutely, you know.
Hey, where are you from, Samantha?
The United States?
Well, yeah, I know.
I don't know, you could have done
Can you nail it down a bit for me?
I'm sorry?
Nail it down a bit for me?
Connecticut?
Connecticut? Yeah. I know nothing about Connecticut. It's probably at the top on the right.
Yes.
And very conservative. Not conservative like Deep South, conservative, where they don't like your type around here, boy. But conservative, you know, everyone's got a white picket house and a white picket fence. Can you have a white picket house? Clapboard houses, right?
Right.
And everyone minds their own business. It's probably a liberal state, but very conservative with a small c, am I right?
Well, yeah, it is very conservative, and the majority of the people are Republican. Actually, we are and I must apologize to the world, George Bush Jr. was born in my state.
Well, you didn't have anything to do with it, did you?
No, but you know.
Don't carry that around on your shoulders. So what are you doing over here, Samantha?
I'm studying.
Studying what?
Law.
Law?
Yes.
Now, why would you come to this country to study law? You'll learn far more in America.
Well, there are many reasons. Well, the type of law I want to practice is international human rights. So I just thought that it'd be best to get out of my country. Practice elsewhere. And study
what are you
elsewhere.
saying? That America doesn't respect international human rights?
Perhaps I shouldn't openly.
But there's no money in that, though, is there? I mean, you're doing it because you care about people.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Amazing. It's just like we've found one, a lawyer that cares about people.
Yes, much to the dismay of my father, he still has hopes that I will go into corporate law.
Yeah, well, that's where all the cash is, right?
Right. They're my my nemesis, all the corporate lawyers.
So you must be a close personal friend of Smiler, Cherie Blair.
Well, I suppose
She's forever banging on about people's rights.
Yeah, she is. Interesting duo, the two of them. Cherie Blair and Tony.
Yeah, it's like a push me, pull you.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really support her. Honestly, I'm kind of anti the whole party government and things like that. So I try not to. I just try to stick to my own beliefs and not support individuals or anything like that.
You're anti
party politics.
Party politics. So you're a communist.
No, I'm not a communist.
A fascist.
No, I try
into
not
dictatorships.
to. I'm sorry?
You're into dictatorships.
No, absolutely not. I'm
give
into
in.
true democracy, which will never happen because that means every individual has to actually play a role and think. And oh no, I'm going to make a lot of enemies right now. But
my dad came up with a theory that, well, of course. He said basically that governments, well, he said what I've been saying for the longest time is that people who run governments aren't running governments for the benefit of the people. They're running governments for the benefit of the people who are running governments.
Absolutely, it's a business.
And that's the same, it is a business, and that's the same the whole world over. So he came up with this crackpot theory that the only way that you would actually get democracy is if you have 2,000 people picked at random every year who decide amongst themselves what the policies of the government should be. And whatever those policies are, the civil servants should then enact them. So in other words, whatever the question is, should we go to war with Iraq, or should we ban abortion, or should we put speed cameras up, or anything at all, if you ask 2,000 people who've been checked for their personality profile that they actually represent the people, if you ask 2,000 people what they think, then you will get an accurate representation of what people actually want. And then you just enact whatever it is that they decide.
That's actually quite an interesting idea.
It's actually not so... I mean, I spent all afternoon arguing with my dad about that, but actually when I say it out loud now, it's not so crazy.
No, my idea of true democracy is well, first of all, I think when you get into the size of the population as, the United States is, or the United Kingdom, you can't really expect to have a democracy. There are too many people. And like in the United States, you end up being broken up into small interest groups. So the government doesn't have to listen to any group in particular because they can always find somebody to support them. So, you lose the individual vote. So my idea is very, very small communities. Everybody plays a role. I actually think that that mass media is a very bad idea when you want to have true democracy, and it should be local media, local, TV stations and news and everything like that.
But local news is awful, isn't it? I mean, I know that's not what you're talking about, but national news is bearable. Local television news is unwatchable. People with bad hair in awful suits talking about stuff that no one cares about just because they've got half an hour to fill, because they can't repeat the stuff. I mean, particularly in London, you can't repeat the stuff that's on the national news, because most of the national news that's not international concerns London, right? And so they're shoehorned into just utter triviality, which makes it painful to watch. And so if it was all local news, I mean, particularly in America, it'd be just recent deaths in your area.
Well, honestly, I can't say that I really know. I don't watch TV. I haven't for
You
many years
don't
now.
watch TV? How can you know about the world if you don't watch television?
I read.
Hey, we found one. She reads. I didn't know anybody did that anymore.
Yes, it seems like a lost art.
But, I mean, people slag television off, but you know what? It's where most people get most of their information. There's tremendous things on television. The world is on television.
Which is why it's so worrying.
How do you mean?
Captivated audience.
Well, it's not really. I mean, we're not captivated. We used to be, because there used to be. I can remember when there were only 3 channels. That's hard to believe now, isn't it?
I suppose I'm also really still in the American mindset. The media in America is really unbelievable.
How do you mean?
Oh, it's just so biased and connected to the government. There's such a conflict of interest between the corporation and the media and the government, the individual, the politicians within the government. It's just, you have to be very careful of what you take in, which is one of the reasons why I stopped watching television when I was about 14, 15. I just saw how insane it was, what utter drivel and how they attempt to brainwash on most.
But that's the same. That's the same in this country as well. What you have in America, which is different to here, is you actually have freedom of speech. In this country, you really don't have freedom of speech. I can't come on the radio here and say what I think politically because it would be illegal. Whereas in America, you've got nothing but that.
But do we really have freedom of speech? I'll give you an example of after, when they announced we were going into Iraq and the people protested. George Bush openly said, basically, that anybody who isn't with us is against us.
Well, but that's the same the whole world over. If you're not supporting your leader, then you're like a terrorist or a communist or a traitor. All governments do that. That's not just George W.
It's interesting, though, considering the way our country was founded, to think that he would say such a thing because it was those founding fathers went against their government and created their own. So really, it isn't the government that you support; it's the ideals, and that's why the government's always changing.
So the answer is that we should all split up into small communities and work in small communities and maybe become self-sufficient and turn our backs on the outside world. And it is communism.
It'll never happen. But the thing is, if you want to use the word democracy, then and you really want that and that ideal, then know what it entails. And what we have now is not democracy. You have something else, so call it by what it is. So, if you're going to use democracy, then strive for it. It'll never happen because it would be way too much work, and you'd never have enough people willing to do it. So.
Well, there'll always be work for someone who's looking out for other people's human rights.
Yes, hopefully.
It just won't be paid very well.
Oh, well.
So you got that to look forward to.
Yes, I've resigned myself to it already.
Yes. All right, well, thanks a lot, Samantha.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thanks.
Ta-da.
Bye.
This is LBC 97.3.
London's LBC 97.3.
0870 9090 973.
Nick Abbott.
It is a bit like a marathon they're doing a 4-hour talk, because I barely say a word from one day to the next. Like I'm not very very communicative.
I'd noticed that.
Huh?
I'd noticed that.
What do you mean?
Oh, I had. You say much more on the air than off it.
Well, you have to.
Well, yes, I know.
But in my normal everyday life, barely a word passes my lips from one day to the next. Some days I don't even leave the flat. Some days I don't even go downstairs to get the post. I'm a hermit.
That doesn't surprise me.
Huh?
That doesn't surprise me.
But doing a 4-hour talk show, oh, blimey, it's like running the marathon with your mouth.
And you've got to do it again tomorrow.
I don't know, he does it. Let's have, but you do sort of have to, it's like the marathon, you have to work towards it. I've launched straight at, this is very dangerous.
Have you hit the wall yet?
Not yet, no.
Well, that's good then.
I guess so.
You've only got another 10 minutes to go.
10 minutes to go. Peter Deady's coming in.
Well,
yeah,
right? One of those minutes Peter Deady has to do.
Let's go with Crouch End. Hello, Chris.
Yes, hello. Yes, I agree with a lot of what the last caller said.
The communist, yes.
No, because the Constitution of the United States was founded on the principles of liberty and freedom of conscience, and I definitely agree with those principles, as was this country was founded on the principles of freedom of speech, privacy. Tea.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about the tea. Anyway, about music. When I wake up in the morning and I hear those birds tweeting, that is lovely music. I don't have to pay, it's free.
What kind of birds? Because I've got big blackbirds outside my window and they go, wah, wah, which is not very attractive at all.
Are you sure that it's not crows? Crows go like that.
Well, I didn't mean blackbirds, I meant blackbirds. I don't know whether they're crows or rooks or what they are, but anyway, huge, great, oily things.
No, I mean...
that lope across the ground at you.
Big, are they?
Huge.
Crows.
Crows, then, yeah.
Crows don't make a nice melodious song.
No, they're horrible.
They are, but
they're birds.
No, I'm not talking about those birds.
You mean Tweety birds?
I'm talking about Tweety birds.
Ah, right.
Such a beautiful sound.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're just going at it from such an... don't they wake you up far earlier than you should actually be waking up?
No, it's
Don't
fine.
you want them to just shut up once in a while?
No, what I would like to shut up is those headphones, which are supposed to be personal, which you get on the tube or the bus, and it's loud.
That's what you get, yeah.
That's what annoys me. But the singing of the birds, I think, is lovely. And Aristotle was right, because 2,300 years ago he said, if you listen to the right kind of music, you become the right kind of person. If you listen to the wrong kind of music, you become the wrong kind of person.
Yeah, that's what Wagner said, yeah.
Well, I don't know about him, but what have we learnt in 2,300 years? Not much. All those decibels, you know. I mean, lots of rock musicians have very damaged hearing.
I give up on the human race, actually. If kids today can't walk 5 yards without listening to music on their iPods or MP3 players, as we should actually be calling them without mentioning any brand names, then I just give up. I mean, how stupid do you have to be that every waking moment of your life has got to be accompanied by music?
But I think people are afraid. They're afraid of the stillness. They're afraid of the quiet.
I think it's more superficial than that. I think that they've spent 300 quid on an MP3 player because it looked nice and everybody else that they knew had one, and so they're going to use it come what may.
But that's not very cool, just to follow the crowd. It's much more cool.
Everybody follows the crowd. I bet you followed the crowd.
Well, no. You know what? It's a good thing to stand up for righteousness, even though you're in the minority. That's a good thing.
You get locked up for being in a minority. If you don't follow the crowd, then you're eccentric if you're rich, or nuts if you're poor.
Well, look at those sheep that fall off the cliff. What would you call them? They follow the crowd. So, I mean, it's not very good to follow the crowd.
Wait a moment. What sheep?
The sheep that go to the edge of the cliff and they all follow each other like sheep. And one falls off and they all fall off.
I've never heard of such a thing.
You've never heard of such a thing? Well, it's just, I mean, people who damage their hearing, and then you've got the rebellion generated by the rock music and the rap music. Do they sing about stamp collecting and ice skating and nice things and country fields and cows?
Rock music doesn't cause rebellion. It
certainly
does
cause
not.
rebellion.
No, they might write about it, but they're not the cause of it.
Well,
I mean, what music do you think those French people who are setting fire to cars in the streets listen? They're still listening to Michael Jackson. You listen to French radio, and it's absolutely painful. Michael Jackson or French music, that's all they play.
Well,
no wonder they're rioting.
No, but I mean, have you ever heard of people going to the Albert Hall and listening to Handel's Messiah coming out and smashing each other up? But
that's very true,
which
yeah.
shall remain nameless.
Yeah, hip-hop groups, yes, name them.
Well, no, it was rock music, but also the rap and the hip-hop and everything.
Nobody goes to a Pink Floyd or whoever it might. Nobody goes to Coldplay and then gets shot in the crowd. No, that'll be a hip-hop concert, that'll be. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about Coldplay, but I know about the rock, about the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and the people like that, and hip-hop and all.
The Rolling Stones and the Beatles are fomenting revolution in the streets? Oh, come on,
They
Chris.
have been since the 60s, of course they have. And if you go down the street and sometimes they play the music, the hip-hop music, just hearing the words are so offensive. Never mind about, well, it's the music which is the most offensive part, but the words, I mean, the words are so disgusting, how anybody could even make that kind of stuff. But rock music is very rebellious.
The kids love it.
Oh, so perhaps people like chocolate, but it doesn't mean that it's good for you.
It is good for you.
Chocolate?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It absolutely flat out is.
It's
chocolate, don't tell me that it's not.
I'm telling you, it's not. There's something...
It is good for you. Not that English stuff. Hey, are any English chocolate manufacturers advertising with us?
That I can think of.
Not that you can think of. Good. If they are, then everyone should eat at least a bar a day. If not, it's rubbish. Don't touch it. You absolutely have to eat, apparently, 20 grams of good quality, which will be Belgian or Swiss or even Australia makes good chocolate.
No, chocolate is not good for you because it's got theobromine in it.
Well, don't buy the ones with theobromine in.
I think that's part of chocolate. What is much better is carob. Carob is much better.
Oh, what, that hippie stuff you get in a health food shop?
Hippie?
It doesn't
What's
taste
hippie
of anything.
Carob? It tastes nice.
Carob bars. It's just brown, crunchy stuff. It has absolutely no flavour whatsoever.
Oh, yes, they do. They're nice.
Eaten by people who hang around in health food stores. Have you ever seen more ill-looking people in your life?
Oh, that's just an urban myth.
It's not an urban myth.
Yes, it is.
Walk into any organic shop or health food store and it's full of people who look like the extras from Dawn of the Living Dead.
Well, those ill people need to be in the health food shop to get better, and they need to eat carob and not chocolate, which is...
I think it's hanging around in the health food stores that make them look like that in the first place.
No,
pale, wan people who look like they're just barely clinging on to life.
Well, I've never seen any people like that. I don't know which health food stores you frequent, but I don't see people like that.
Carob bars. Do
Carob
me
bars
a favour.
are wonderful. And also music indoctrinates people as well. It's a tool for indoctrination, rebellion, decadence.
Oh, come on, Chris. What's wrong with a bit of decadence every now and again?
Because, well, I mean, if you trace back through history, lots of societies reached their peak and then they became decadent, and then what happened? It was the end of them. Decadence. You can't run a society on decadence, but that's the message that people have been getting since before the 60s.
Well, as long as it doesn't all fall apart while we're still alive, eh?
Well, it's falling apart now, and I'm alive now, and it's falling apart now.
Oh, if you hang around in a health food store, that's not a life. Eating carob bars, that's not a life.
Well,
come on, loosen up a bit, Chris.
Well, at least my ears aren't deafened because of rock music, and at least I don't get headaches and that because of the theobromine in the chocolate. And that lady, when she said about communities, you know, all this globalization is bad. It's bad because God doesn't like it. God
doesn't like it.
God doesn't like it.
Don't tell me that you've. How do you know that God doesn't like
because
it?
God destroyed the Tower of Babel because they were all joining up and plotting against God. God likes sovereignty of countries.
Hey! I've got to go, Chris, but it's
Bye-bye.
been an education. Where did you come from? I didn't know that door led anywhere.
Ah, yes, it's a back passage.
Peter Dealey. I haven't seen you in a dog.
No, I know. The last time I saw you and I were getting fired from a national radio station.
Yeah.
Another mistake they made. Well, in your case they did anyway. But how are you? It's lovely. Do you know what? I was just saying, it is really, don't get funny, it's absolutely lovely to hear you.
Oh, well,
it's better than that. It's fantastic. It's about time.
So I read that you'd
died.
Not quite died, but had gone away.
Yes, I had.
But you're back.
I'm back. Yes, because well, I don't quite know why. Poor old Marcus Churchill isn't very well, so they roped me in, and I'll never say no to a radio gig.
Right.
You know, and like you, and so here I am. And but bless him, he'll be back soon. But how are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah, I know you are. But we'll have a gossip in a minute.
All right.
When was it? 12 years ago?
Oh, couldn't possibly have been that long ago.
It was, yes.
12?
12 years ago.
Get out.
It was 12 years ago.
You know what, I did nothing for 4 years.
I know.
And I thought it was just 2 years.
No.
I was going around telling people, I haven't been on the air for 2 years. And somebody called me up and said, you know what, it's 4 years.
Yes.
What did I do? I sat and watched TV. I loved every moment of it. I'm Nick Abbott. I'm going to be back tomorrow. Peter Dealey is next on LBC.
Available on DAB Digital Radio. London, LBC 97.3.